So we pick up with our party. Still in this chamber filled with broken sarcophagi, where you guys pillaged a little bit, stole some headbands and some rings.
Stole is a strong word.
Rescued.
You rescued.
Yeah, recovered.
Thank you.
So Geyer and Belthus has just pulled themselves off the floor after being thrown to it from this heavily armored, undead creature that seemed to come around the corner and harass you guys, and then disappear with a cold chill of the room. What do you guys want to do?
Didn't it fly through somebody?
It went through Belthus and then seemed to dissipate through the floor.
So we saw it like exit him and go through the floor?
Yes, you did.
It
He went kind of like this, like misty, ethereal. It started to just like break apart almost, and just kind of like just disappeared. Belthus seems to have his wits about himself.
Coward, come back and fight.
Oh yeah, that's Belthus.
So Tanumero would come a little. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
So she would come around the corner that she was kind of like hiding behind while most of this is happening, unless she needed to like shoot her hand out to do a quick spell. So she'd be leaning against the wall because she is exhausted since she had that first vision when we were approaching that like center room. So she'd be kind of like just leaning against the wall, not holding up so hot. Pretty stunned that the white flew through her friend Belthus over there. And remind me, what conditions does Geyer have? How's our duck friend looking right now?
As Geyer is trying to pick himself up off the floor.
Calcica's trying to help him up, and it's not going well because she's tiny.
You can see there's a tremor in his hands. He's shaking a little bit. I don't know if Tanumero would know him well enough, but Calcica would definitely pick up that he is angry as well. Mechanically, I am exhausted, I am angry, and I am scared.
What a combo.
Wow. A normal Friday.
Like to point out, I am a 3-year-old child. I refuse to go to sleep. I am a cranky little bitch. And I'm terrified of something that's in my room that doesn't exist.
That's pretty accurate.
So, looking around at everyone, I think Tanumero would be like... Okay, let me go into it. I don't know why I'm saying be like. So she'd look at everyone and just would say, should we take a short rest before that thing comes back? I don't know if we can handle another fight like that right now in this condition.
Above table, we don't use the term short rest here.
Stretch rest. To a Baldur's Gate.
Why are you tall people referring to a stretch?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like short
Calcica
rest.
stretches and just goes, okay, all better.
Well, Michael D, do you mind, while they're making that decision, if I go ahead and take a round rest?
Well, technically, we're not really we're not in combat, so there's no rounds here. Like, this is just you guys can decide to take a stretch if you want to. It's your choice.
Yeah, I think that's great because we can heal a condition automatically from a stretch rest. And if we use our mementos, I think we can heal an additional one for those who have more than one condition.
Yeah, your memento, if you use it, I think you can only use it once per session.
Yeah.
But it does, if you use it, basically it's like you're using it to kind of calm yourself in a way. It just depends on what your memento is and what it means to your character, but...
Yeah. Cool. So then looking at the stretch rest too, it says you heal D6 hit points, so I would roll.
Yep, you got to roll.
to see
Yeah.
how-
Yep.
And then it's what, 2d6 hit points. And then for elves, we can meditate deeply during a stretch rest and heal an additional d6 HP and d6 extra willpower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you guys basically get double. You get to roll 2 dice on your rests.
Okay, cool.
As
And then
elves.
we can roll for willpower. Is willpower not a normal thing that can be healed during a stretch rest?
No, it is. It's
yeah,
on
it
the.
says it's the second paragraph.
It's second paragraph there in the top right under healing and resting. It says during a stretch rest, you also recover D6 willpower points and heal a condition of your choice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's actually why I was asking if I could take a round because I'm missing a lot more than D6 WP.
Well, I think isn't there Yeah, I'm gonna say the round rest. We can only use round rests when we're in combat. So and and currently right now we're not in combat. So you can choose to take a stretch, you can choose to take a shift, but that's a long time and you have to be in a safe location, and I would not consider this a safe location.
Yeah, no. So I guess we're gonna set up
There are
who's
there are
watching
some things that can help you restore other willpower points somewhere in the game, but I don't know if you guys have them yet.
I wonder too if you're looking to have more you said HP restored for Connery?
No, willpower.
Oh, willpower.
Yeah, I'm fine on HP.
Okay.
So if you guys want to take your stretch rest, you can.
Cool.
Go ahead and make your rolls of whatever you need, a d6 for HP, and if there's somebody that doesn't need the HP and somebody that desperately needs more, somebody could tend to wounds. There's also
does
that.
anyone need HP? Because I can tend to wounds. I'm fine to not rest.
So the app does the rolls for you and puts in the willpower HP if you're still using it.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I was using it, but I just hit a roll a d6. I didn't. Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that there.
That's cool.
That's cool. I'm keeping an eye on the doors.
Yeah,
I'm like peeking around the corner
he
trying
looks
to
one
see
way,
that
I
light.
look the other way.
During the whole rest, especially you, Balthus, you hear those sounds continue, like the scraping of metal, the thud of footprints.
They're just above table. This isn't like D&D where we have to set up posts and worry about our lives.
You can if you want, but I'm not gonna. In this instant, I'm not gonna call for anything.
I'm not gonna kill you today.
I'm not gonna kill you.
He didn't say today. He said this one.
Only episode 4, guys. Maybe by episode 5.
Rip.
He'll be tired of us.
Rip.
Actually, fun fact, the pre-episode, we almost fell off a tree, so...
Yeah.
Hey guys, we've been booked for an entire season. I've got to stretch it out, you know?
One of us dies every month.
Until it's one standing.
So we haven't been down here a shift yet, right?
No, you've probably only been down here, now that you've taken this break, maybe an hour?
Okay.
If that. Hasn't been long. It probably took you more time to smoke the bats out than it did like actually down in here.
So with the rolls for the willpower, so I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Mm-hmm.
I only had 5 I needed to recover.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
So you're maxed.
I'm just like full.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So anybody, you guys wait about 15 minutes. You feel like you get a chance to recover a little bit. Did anybody use their mementos to try to get rid of an additional condition? Nope.
You didn't need to.
All
I only
right,
had
all right.
one.
Yeah.
I can't at this point.
Why
I've
can't-
gone too long without sleep.
Oh,
I cannot heal conditions
or
willpower
Oh,
until I
oh,
sleep.
no.
We need to get out of here. Gyre needs a nap immediately.
I forgot about that
I
rule.
suggested this for you, Gyre.
Gyre is tired. He is angry. He's rested hours. It's like, let's just go to the front door. Let's see if these heads can pry it open.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Tenumeral would stand up from her little seated meditation, just completely revitalized. She is back to normal.
Connor's just kind of comparing the two. You got Tenumeral all rejuvenated and ready to go, and then you look at Gyre and he's just steaming with anger, sulking in the corner, and you're like,
Freaking elves.
Let's just get the thing and get out of here, guys. Let's just get the thing and get out of here.
"Been a hard day."
Seeing that Gyre's still cranky, as she would call it, Kalska would just take his hand and go, "It'll be okay, Mr. Gyre.
There's money down here. That's
Yeah,
what's
we'll
important,
get the money, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
leave, and then you're gonna take a nice long nap in the cart."
Yeah, Gyra, it does make you feel a little bit better. Those headbands and those rings that you picked up. You're thinking like the headbands, you could probably get like 5 gold a piece for those, and the rings maybe like 3. I mean that's a pretty good chunk of change for something you just stumbled
getting there.
upon. Well,
But-
I guess you know.
But there's that shiny hammer that's not rusted.
Oh, very shiny hammer.
That's-
Yes.
That's probably worth a good bit of coin in there.
Oh, yeah.
We should gotta find a way in there. Get the Tin Man to actually use his muscles.
So
Onward?
Yeah, which way would you like to
Onward.
go? Yeah.
All right,
All
behind
right.
you, Tin Man.
As you guys remember, the back hall, once you guys got to the portcullis in the back hall, Connery fell in that pit with spiked barbs at the bottom of it and almost stabbed himself on.
So we haven't been down that corridor, right?
We haven't gone down
To
the
our
front
left.
way.
Yeah, no, we haven't been down there.
As we sort of get to this point, Gyre's going to point to the door to the north. Should we just try to pry this one open? We've got a little more room.
Worth a
Assuming
try.
that other hallway is like the one we just came from.
We got those like spears or something,
Spears,
right?
yeah.
So we could try to use them as like
Mhm.
leverage,
Like stick it through.
and then
pry it out.
let Balthus use
Curious.
his-
I am curious if there's treasure down this hallway as well, though.
Well, we'll check it too, but if we can get the shiny hammer as a guarantee first, so if we have to
get
run
that
out.
and be ready, that way if that thing shows up, we can just get out of here.
Mhm.
Or fight it.
So I am definitely not the one with the strongest strength, so I will.
We all just turn and
aside.
look at Balthus.
Hand me one of those spears. I could give it a try.
Tenumeral would hang back as she would be a little hesitant that maybe getting another vision, since
Mhm.
that's what happened when we
Oh,
approached
yeah,
this
the
the
last
last time. So
Yep.
she'd be looking a little scared, but she wouldn't be too far back because also like the white was from the other direction. So she'd just be like very uncomfortable looking right now, like I don't know where to stand.
Gyre will hand Balthus the spear that he has.
All right.
Sir Mallard. All right. I'm going to try to see if I can wedge it in there and try to pry this door open and all.
Okay. Balthus, I'm not even going to ask for a roll for you because immediately you start to feel this spear bend, and you have a feeling like the integrity of this spear, it's going to snap if you keep going.
I will pull back. I think this precious artifact may be better off in a museum.
Means we have to go down the other door.
Yeah.
Connor pokes his
I-
head out from
Belvis,
the hallway already eagerly.
Belvis, though, because you're close enough to it, you think that if you had, like, if you did enough damage to the door, instead of trying to pry it, you might be able to buckle it enough to break it. But in the back of your mind, you think it's going to make a lot of noise.
So, I mean, the door doesn't look like it's in incredible condition. We could potentially try to beat it down, but it's going to be a bit noisy.
We don't know what's down here, lurking in the shadows.
It could attract our friend, which that could be interesting. Have another little round with him. See who's the better fighter.
And
I
where-
admire your
knife in the neck.
eagerness. I admire your eagerness, but we also don't know where the other goblins are.
Fight them too.
Perhaps going down the hallway first so we don't get attacked on two fronts. I have a feeling we're going to have to come back here and then you're going to have to pick up one of your friends and sort of use them as a battering ram.
Wise counsel, Sir Mallard. Let's go.
All right. And I believe, Connor, you still have the light coming from your amulet that you're wearing?
Yep.
Okay. Got it. I think I still have it set that way so you guys can still see.
Yeah, it's
Very
a
helpful. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it looks like Belthus is leading away with Connery like following close by. You guys make the bend, and I'll go ahead and read to you what you see in this location. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. So it's now lit based off the amulet as you see looking in the room, but it looks like there was seemed like dugout burial niches seem to cover the walls and from floor to ceiling. There's broken skeletons, molded rags, and shards of crushed pottery can be seen all over the place. Looks like this place has been completely wrecked. You also notice about 3 mangled goblin bodies laying in the midst of all the rubble.
We may have discovered the fate of that party of goblins.
looks like your friend made light work of them.
Impressive.
One less thing we have to deal with down here, maybe.
This just makes
Go
it
in
more
and get a
exciting
closer
to do
look.
battle with them.
Yeah. Kinda
Guy's
step
going to
in a
enter the
little
room and start trying to like look through the burial niches,
Oh, okay.
to see if I can find anything of value in there.
Roll a spot hidden for me, Geyer.
bit.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm on the wrong spot. Nope. Wait, why did I roll 2?
Are you rolling with a Bane, or do you have Bane or Boon clicked?
Accidentally
character?
turned on at the top or anything?
Oh.
Or...
I don't see 2 rolls. I only see one guy.
Yeah, but if you hover your mouse over the 19, it says 2d20, keep high 1. So my first roll was a 6. My other, oh wait, statuses. What am I? Spot hidden's intelligence, and I am angry. So no, I do have a.
Yeah, you do have a Bane in it.
Oh.
That's what it does. Yeah.
Wow,
Guy was
that
just in
app
there
is
just
impressive.
Wow.
ripping
Yeah,
bones
great.
out, throwing bones behind him.
Yeah. Guyer's just
I would
throwing
see-
stuff around the room.
See him throwing stuff around the room and getting cranky and muttering, and she would go in and try sorting through, easily ducking the things he's throwing behind himself. She's
Oh.
pretty used to the dodging the things as they get thrown.
Kalsika, you can also roll. Kalsika, you can
Is it
also
'cause
roll
of the
spot hidden.
No, I know.
It was a ducking pun.
So I got a 7 on the dice, and my spot hidden is a 12, so I'm okay.
Okay. As Geyer's like throwing things around the room, and you're like going there to help him, and you're looking around. First, you catch like what seems to be the glare or glimmer of eyes reflecting from the light of the amulet. Over in a corner, a niche from the room, and then all of a sudden you look over there, and something starts to like panic and jumps out and goes and starts to try to run by you. I'm going to show you what is trying to.
I'm going to grab whatever it is out of reflex.
Okay, perfect. Do me a favor while I'm getting the picture ready to show you. Can you look like the grappling rules up for me?
Sure.
And I think it's like maybe it might be contested brawling or something like that. I can't remember. But I'll show you what this little guy looks like. You can all see him. You should see him popping up on your.
You try to grapple a humanoid enemy instead of inflicting damage. This is handled with an opposed roll between your brawling and the enemy's brawling.
Okay. So I'll roll a brawling check here, and you roll a brawling check. We both succeed. The better number. Oh boy.
Tiny versus tiny.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Oh boy, what?
I rolled high.
Okay.
Takes
I
him two
rolled.
hands to hold a dagger.
Is it meets it is safe? Because I rolled a 6 and my brawling's a 6.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
Whoa.
in that instance, as this thing just like starts to run out, you basically spear tackle this little creature off to the side. You hear it drop its weapon. It had a weapon on it, but it's like kind of like a short sword or some kind of longer knife that goes and slides across the floor. And you can hear just, hey, please get off me! I just want to get out of here. Please let me get out of here. I just want to leave.
Kalsuka just covers his mouth. Belfast! There's a
Nice
talkative
catch.
thing.
Kalsuka, the goblin licks your hand.
I headbutt him.
Geyer heard metal on the ground, so he is now picking up whatever the weapon was.
Okay. Yeah, I think
I'm
it's.
just sitting on top of him. Like
What did the
somebody
goblins
pick-
have that you guys had before? Were the short swords?
Short swords.
Short
Yeah,
swords and bows.
it's like a rusted
Yeah.
short sword. That's what it was.
Okay.
Lady Halfling, I'd love to help it. It seems like you really have that goblin under control.
He's licking me, Belfast. Make it
Oh.
stop.
I'll reach down, like, kind of help, like, keep his head out of the way.
Yeah, like you stop talking, and I will let you go so you can explain calmly what's going on.
Make a persuasion roll.
As after I tackled him short, it's gonna go real well. My persuasion. Oh, my persuasion's good because I'm a charming, cute little halfling, so I'm good.
All right.
That's
good.
a 5 out of 13.
5 out of 13. He seems this little goblin seems to not still hyperventilating, but stops mumbling under your hand, and just looks at you and just goes.
Mr. Belfish, you have a good hold on him, right? I'm gonna get up now. Okay. So I will get off of him and take my hands and just go, ew, 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 goblin germs, ew. And she does this.
Everybody in the room. No, I'm gonna wait on that.
Oh God.
I'm gonna wait on that.
Oh no,
I
my
don't
God.
like that.
I'm gonna take the end
Everybody
of my
in the
robe
room
and
take
help
33
Elsa
points
clean
of
her hand.
damage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. We all just fall out of our chairs, and that's the end of the episode. Fine.
You pull your hand away, and the goblin's sitting there,
Okay.
just looking around at all of you.
I start to turn
Oh.
to Geyer because I usually have him handle these things, and I realize he's too cranky right now. And then I look at Belfast, and I'm like, he only wants to talk about honor. Tinny? I think you're a bit more better at talking to people sometimes, maybe. Or
It's
calmer.
funny, just as you said that, I was moving my character into the room so I could see what was happening and approach the situation.
Yeah, Kalska's I can persuade people, I can be charming, but I ask dumb questions sometimes, and she knows this is not her space.
So Numeral would approach and see this really scared. What was he? A grub?
Goblin. He was a little goblin, little weak-looking goblin. This looks like a runt goblin.
Yeah. So she would just ask, "What are you doing here?"
Maladuke sent us. Find some treasures. Important treasures. All we found was big, scary skeleton with armor.
He's obviously frightened, so maybe I should give this a try. And as Connery leans in to talk to the goblin, he accidentally lets all of his fangs show at the same time in a huge, what he thinks is comforting smile. He's like, hello.
Don't let him eat me! Don't let him eat me!
All right, I'm all out of ideas.
I don't think anybody wants to eat goblin here.
No, not in our diet. It's okay.
Armored Knight not eat. Armored Knight just crush. Kill.
What happened to
Destroy.
your friend?
Okay. Are all... I don't want to be rude, but I'm gonna be rude. Are all of your friends dead?
Every one of us. Except for Grub.
Your name is Grub?
My name Grub. Grub hide. Grub survive.
Well, Grub, do you want to accompany us and possibly restore your honor by avenging your fellow fallen goblins? Sorry.
Me? No! I want to leave!
All right, fair.
Now you're hearing this is going to walk over towards the group and did you find any treasure? I'm certain if you give us your treasure, I can convince my friend not to eat you and you can be allowed to leave.
I only have these. And he holds out what looks to be a metal key ring that has all these old antique keys on it.
Ire's just going to grab them and pull them out of his hand.
Oscar goes to grab them, but grabs them too low.
And on this, it's a rusty iron ring, and it has 3 large iron keys on them. 2 are intact, and 1 is broken.
Do I remember if when Kalska was looking at the locks at the 2 doors that we visited, did she mention if there was like a broken key or anything in either of them?
The one that you guys all saw at the front, there was no key in it at all. The only 2 people that got close enough to the other one were Connery and Belthus, but they were in the midst of trying to help Connery not die, so I don't think they would have gotten a good enough look at that.
Fair enough.
Had a good look at that pit trap, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Grub, I'm going to put this simply to you. You have got quite a ways to the exit. And if you decide to retreat, you are pretty much on your own. I believe your chances of survival would be greater by sticking with us. Or you will be, Grub.
No. I just told him you wouldn't eat him. But
Not me.
He means Grub for the iron ghosty boy.
at the same point, my long-toothed friend does seem to have a point. So why don't you tag along with us and we'll do our best to keep you safe.
Fine, I'll stay. Grub help, but can Grub have sword back?
I was just gonna look down and just thinking about the money.
We get like a gold for a crappy goblin. Kalska sees him doing that, she goes, it's cheap.
If we're doing all this
Hand
to
it
keep
over,
him
but lean
safe,
down to Kalsika.
Mhm.
I got 3 in outskirt for those other ones.
Yeah, but if he's gonna stab the ghosty thing and I don't have to stab it, that's a pretty good deal. For
You can
now.
always
we're
collect it
not
again.
gonna let him go back to this Maladuke, though, are we?
No, that's for later. We'll deal with that later. For now, we get treasure. I think.
He's a friend, and Guy's gonna reach over, put an arm around him, and just sort of pull him into a headlock. Give him a little bit of a tighter squeeze than he probably needs to.
I'm gonna lean towards Beltis and lightly whisper, The duck is starting to be scary.
Because just remember, this is exactly how her first interaction with Geyer went when he saw her stealing from the other shop and she thought she was caught and the whole head grab. She's like, oh, are we? Okay, he's friends now.
Welcome to the team, Sir Goblin.
Numeral would raise her eyes, not quite sure about adding a goblin to the group, considering they've been trying to kill us the whole journey.
And you guys can visibly see this goblin is shaking in his shoes, terrified to even be here.
Let's be clear, the halfling could tackle him. I think we're okay. For now.
We tried this way already. Key broke when tried to open. He points down to the hallway that you guys didn't go yet. In that direction.
So we can't use that one because there's a key jammed in there.
So we go back to the front door.
There's one
We
more.
I think
go
that's a
to the
good
other one unless-
idea. But in order to keep Grub safe as possible, we'll have him go first.
I believe we're going to need some light.
I know we'll be behind him, but it's just in case for his safety. If something were to be out there, he'll be up in front.
I like idea. I like idea. Watch Grub back. Nothing touch Grub.
It's gonna be so easy.
Geyer's just going to follow right behind Grub as he starts down because Geyer just wants to get in there, get that thing,
And Grub is walking with both hands on the sword like this and kind of like pointing it in every direction and just like tiptoeing kind of down the hallway as Grub is moving. I can't get to Grub. There we go. Now I can get to Grub. But
Can't
Grub,
see it. We need Connery. There he is.
but Grub moves all the way back to the front door area where you guys kind of pointed and told a little Grub to go.
Henry's trying to stifle a laugh, but that little short sword looks like a great sword in his two hands.
Whoever was immediately behind Grub while Grub was coming around this corner, you noticed did take an awfully long glance at those open oak doors to the right where the entrance to this place was.
Yep.
You thought for an instance there your passive insight would tell you that Grub just thought about booking it there. But then turned around and saw the heavily clad and armored and individuals behind and decided to continue. So Grub...
Geyer's like, come along. We might find treasure. You can bring something back to your friend. And Geyer's going to take the keys out he took from Grub and very gingerly, remembering what Kalska had said about the lock being in a rough condition,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try the first key.
Okay. Let me check something. Okay, I need you to make a... It still requires a roll because it's rusted. So I need you to make a sleight of hand roll.
Okay. And I am good.
All right.
Whoa.
Ooh, nice.
So you guys get nervous because when Geyer puts this in there and he starts to turn it and the anger flowing through him, like he's not going to be denied whatever treasure is in here. He's going to have this treasure. And you can see him tighten his grip on the key. You can see him grit a little bit as the anger starts to flow. He starts to shake a little bit. You see Grub starts to sweat a little bit next to him while the key is turned. But then the key all of a sudden shifts. So you can feel like some of the rust like break off inside Geyer. And then the key turns it successfully and you hear it unlatch. And you appear to have had it. You think you got it unlocked.
I'm going to try opening it. Because I see a shiny right in front of me.
See, yeah, I think you guys should be able to go through there now. There we go. It worked. Okay.
Geyer runs right over the table and just grabs the hammer.
All right, cool.
Again, you see Casca die for 2 seconds too late from Geyer.
Stop right there a second. So, when you touch this warhammer, all of a sudden, that mummified woman that was there holding it, a ghostly form rises up out of it. This blue glowing form. And I'll show you what she looks like. I'll put her on the...
God, not another one.
I'll put her on the token layer, and I'll show you what she looks like.
While you're pulling that up, while everybody else is entering the room, I'm going to put my hand on Grub's shoulder and kind of hold him back to be alone with him.
Okay, sure. So this woman starts just floating out of the mummified corpse of this woman. And she looks directly towards you, Geyer, seeing your hands upon the hammer, kind of pulling it off of the table. And she says, Nakana ats I konme, panatsi I tapa, rachrichwa. I need you to, anybody who can hear that, I need you to make a language roll for me, please.
Language?
Yeah. You do have a skill. Nope.
It did it.
Nope.
Nope.
Really glad I leveled it up last week, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten it.
Would I be in earshot?
Yeah, everybody, like, she's speaking loud enough that everybody would be able to hear her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was worried I wouldn't be able to hear it from out there. But that's a no on me.
Let me see. Language. Where the heck is languages?
Between
Yeah,
hunting and myths.
that's a no.
Okay. Well, who succeeded? Calcica? You were the only one to succeed? Wow.
Uh-oh. You're all
Wow.
in trouble.
Interesting. This is a strange ancient tongue that I'm not sure how you would have had some knowledge on this, but you do actually pick out some of the words. Like it's so ancient that it's hard. Like you can't tell everything that she's saying, even with a successful language roll. Yeah. But words that stand out to you, you hear the word dragon, you hear the word empire, like almost mentioned repeatedly within this phrase. And she's just staring towards Geyer right now. You also hear her, what seems to be the words. You hear the words leave, undefiled, peaceful rest.
Casca just stands there and goes, guys? Now, I don't know the who's a what's it language. Some of those words make sense. I think I need a nap.
And she's,
maybe I'm translating wrong.
She's like staring Geyer down.
Maybe we should put that back then.
How much have I got the hammer yet?
I mean, you're sliding it off sliding it over the table. Immediately upon touching it, this ghost has risen into the room. So it's staring at you intently.
Mr.
It
Geyer.
depends if you snatched it or if you just stopped the moment she showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Geyer wouldn't have stopped. I don't care.
Oh, you're just gonna yank it away?
As I'm pulling it,
He's shouting. Cal's gonna go, Mr. Geyer, Mr. Geyer, Mr. Geyer, and she'll start saying the words that she'd make sense to her. And then she's gonna look at him from across the side of the platform with her head barely pressing the top, like.
Well, immediately upon Geyer like grabbing this and like not caring and just yanking it away, you guys see like Geyer at first and Calcica, those of you that are in the room and you can see her face really well, her face seems to be more sad and dignified at first, but the minute you kind of ignore her and just like dragging this away, you see all of a sudden her face kind of contorts into this terrifying death mask with empty blank sockets in her eyes, and she immediately attacks. We're gonna roll initiative.
Oh no.
So I would say that before this woman appears, I managed to get the words out to Grub. So tell me more about this marmalade. And then the woman appears, and I lose the conversation from there.
Marmalade, I love it. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna grab everybody on the board. We're gonna add turns.
I went to roll initiative.
Oh yeah. Don't roll. I'll get it covered with you.
Oh yeah.
I'll get it covered for you. We're gonna add
I'm
turns.
sitting here looking at the character sheet like, where is it?
Oh, the hammer added a turn for some reason. The hammer doesn't get to go. What's happening?
Are you sure?
Or does it? Yeah.
Or does it? Yeah.
It's hammer time.
Do.
There it is. Oh. All right, so let's see.
I
if
was too
we
busy
can
dancing to find the.
Deal the initiative cards. Let's see if this will work. It never works the first time for some reason. I'm gonna go reshuffle them. Yeah, let's shuffle.
I was
and
about to
try
say,
again.
Grub gets to go first. Go, Grub! Grub, you're going in the wrong direction.
There we go. Let's
You have your arm around him though, so he's gonna have to try to get away from you if he tries to run the other way.
Okay, so
Use him as a projectile.
I'm gonna change the music because this is kind of haunting situation here. Let's oh my goodness, who is printing right now?
That's your weird lady.
It's just the printer is just going crazy over here next to me now.
She's printing out messages. Leave undisturbed Dragon Empire.
That's right. Okay, so first up in the initiative, seeing the lady start to get hostile, this ghost, to numeral, you're actually first to go.
I'm first? I'm never
Yeah,
first.
you are first.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. How close am I to her? Meter-wise? Can I see her from where I'm standing?
You can see like the edge of her, like
yeah.
the left side of her body probably, or the left side of her ethereal body that's glowing.
Yeah, okay. Like, I personally, as an individual, with the way this like light thing is, like, I can see like the
10,
room, but I can't see the
1, 2,
tokens
3,
in it
4,
except for
5, 6, 7.
Kalsika.
You're like 8
Oh, yeah,
meters.
maybe-
You're 8 meters away.
I'm 8 meters away.
Yeah.
Alright. That's cool.
You would probably have to move 4 meters, like into the room, to be able to like get visual about everything. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Gee, I didn't think this far ahead that I'm never first. I feel like I'm so reactionary in my spells and stuff. So she's not like casting anything because she didn't go yet.
She looks very cranky.
Now remember, you do have the option of the wait option where you trade your spot with somebody else if you want to.
Yeah, true. You can trade initiative cards, even with enemies.
Yeah, with enemies, yeah. Which,
But if you want the enemy to go first,
right. I'm like, no, please don't do that one.
Yeah, no.
Because what Kalsika and Belthus can see is this lady looks like she wants to destroy Geyer.
So then I think, can I do the swap with like Belthus?
Sure. If you'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I can just change this to 5, and I can change this to 1.
You can do the swap with Grub, and he could be the hero.
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, I switched them up. So now you have a little bit of time to think about it. And Belthus, you're actually first to go now.
Alrighty. Seeing this thing menacing Sir Mallard, I'm going to try to step up right in front of him and take the sword out and take a swing at this
Okay.
spiritual figure.
You got it. Go
So,
ahead and roll.
alright, this is going to be a swords roll.
Okay.
Hits it exactly.
Okay. You go and you take a swipe, and you don't feel any resistance whatsoever as you attack with your sword through the ghost.
Goes right through like air.
It goes right through like you were swinging at air. And it's still looking beyond you at Geyer. It doesn't seem to care.
This thing doesn't seem to have a body per se. As I kind of look at my sword and like, and turn.
Okay. Connery, you were able to see that happen from where you are. it is your turn.
Or see that not happen.
Yeah. The sword just went right through it.
So having been paying attention to Grub before the lady popped up and everything, I would say that once she went hostile, I would pivot around Grub, position myself probably like right around, I'd say here, so I could still keep a hold of Grub, free hand, pull out my amulet, point it towards her, and boop. We're gonna do it at power level 1.
Okay. Ooh.
And that is a successful cast.
A demon or undead inflicting 2d10 damage on the unnatural creature. Each power level increases. Woo!
And armor does not help her.
Excellent. Her face writhes, and you see like black energy start to like zap out from her as she screams so loud that you guys like it's echoing in this chamber. Belthus being so close to this hideous creature, it's like a banshee scream out as she takes this 11 points of damage. Woo!
I got the amulet pointing out her and going, the power of Gaia compels you.
And you know what, Connery? That broke. The lady is no longer looking at Geyer. The lady is looking directly towards you now.
Time to do an exorcism.
That ends your turn, unless you wanted to move anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that'll do me because I want to keep a hold of Grub with the other hand just in case he tries to go somewhere.
Oh, so you are holding on to Grub?
Yeah.
Okay. Grub screams and tries to break out of your grasp. I would like you to make a roll your brawling.
Oops.
Oh, I actually rolled pretty good for Grub. Oh, Grub gets out. And Grub runs.
You little.
Sir Goblin!
Takes off into the other room. That ends Grub's turn, and now it's Tenumeral's turn. Tenumeral, you just heard Grub scream and break out of Connery's grasp and run through that big door and is taking off.
Well, this is a lot. Huh. So who's holding this hammer right now?
Geyer.
I mean, it seems like she's going after the people with the hammer, because I'm like, should I just fetch that hammer? But I don't think I want to be the target of this thing.
I don't know if Geyer would let it go.
This hammer it feels a lot lighter than it should be.
Yeah.
Like this thing should be heavy, but it's light.
Oh yeah, I can't fetch something heavier than weight 1 anyway.
I must be worthy.
Guy Thor.
Can I set up like a holding action?
Well, that's what switching your initiative does. It's kind of like you are holding your action. So
yeah, like,
and I
or
think
is it
you
like
might only be able to switch your action once per round. I think too.
Or rather, I meant like set up like a reaction where like, okay, if she attacks with this, can I like do X?
I don't know if there is that in this game. I can look.
Okay.
Well, what were you thinking about doing? Because some spells are reaction already. You don't need to be in turn.
Yeah, magic shield is. I don't think the spell is though.
Actions. So dash, melee attack, range attack, parry, dodge. Like you can save yours if you want to parry and dodge. There's also that.
Well, magic shield is a reaction that doesn't take an action, so you can do that regardless.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
First
You can also
aid,
mute
rally.
Goblin that's running back to report to Maladuke.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, where did the grub guy go?
Ran out where you guys came in from. Remember when you guys put the rope down?
Yeah.
Climbed down? Well, most of you climbed down. Some of you fell.
Is it heavier than weight?
That remark.
Can we fetch grub?
Maybe try to levitate. Potentially.
Levitate him, take him right off his feet.
It's up to
Let
you.
me see.
What would you like to do?
Let me see what the range is on that. Levitate 6 meters. Is he further than 6 meters away from me?
Yes, but if you moved 3 squares down to like where the door was, then you could.
Okay.
You just have to be like right outside that door, that open oak door.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll go towards him. I want to kind of stay around so I could like help my friends if they're attacked by this like demonic creature. So I'll just like take 1 step over and kind of brace myself, and if there's an attack coming my way, I'll dodge.
Okay, you got it. Geyer, you're holding the hammer. What do you want to do?
I'm actually checking something because for some reason I just had a thought. But, oh man, it's a skill. Never mind. I was going to see if I could dual wield, but it's a heroic ability. Okay, well, Geyer's got the hammer, but he's still sort of getting a feel for it. It feels a little light. So I'm going to step around Belphus. And looking at the mummified remains of this woman, I'm going to pull my dagger out and literally drive the dagger into the mummified chest of this
Ooh,
person.
okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
See if, watching that Belphus couldn't hit it with his sword, and I'm going, my knife isn't going to do anything. If his did. That'll hit.
You slice it, and pieces of this mummified corpse just start flying through the room. You notice that the gilded chainmail that she was wearing, as you kind of scrape out, it's still in really good condition. And it just like starts like shh, like over a chair. As the rest of her body is just starting to fall apart, her head kind of rolls off onto the ground. Doesn't really seem to affect the ghost above it, though.
Is picking something up the action?
Picking up an item is considered an action.
Connery would like to yell out, "Don't damage the goods."
I was going to take her head.
Any other movement you'd like to do, Geyer?
Geyer's gonna circle around over here next to Cal.
Okay.
Actually, have I seen Belphus wield anything that looks like a hammer?
I don't think since you guys have met.
Okay. I think I was just keeping the hammer, dancing around behind her.
The hammer, also the handle of it, has these smooth rubies that are like inlaid as a pattern going down the handle.
I've done that before. He would have been using his knife for something else.
All right, it is the lady's turn. She goes right towards Connery.
I shut the door.
Actually, she's got to succeed on a evade, I believe.
Yep.
And I think it's for these it's a standard 15. So I got to roll a d20. Let me double check this because I think they changed it in this new free attack. I think it's under the rules for free attack. Maybe it's under monsters. She's considered a monster. Sorry about that. I thought there was a rule that they changed. I know from one PDF to the other, so I'm trying to make sure that I've got the right. Where is it? I guess I don't know. I'll find it later. I'll just roll. And if I get a 15 or more, up 11. So I'm going to say that you guys, anybody, Belthus and Geyer, well, Belthus, you can make a free attack against it, but you also know that your sword went right through it last time.
I would do it anyway.
You do it again? Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can roll.
Stop Belthus.
Yeah.
And would that mean Geyer can make one too?
Sure. Yeah. Belthus,
Do I get
same
to?
result. You drive, your sword actually goes down, like drives into the table a little bit right there in the middle of the room.
Do I get
Geyer's
to
gonna
hit
try
too?
swinging with the
She
hammer.
hasn't left your range,
She's still
Kalsika,
okay.
so I would say no on yours.
Geyer is swinging with the hammer.
Okay. I think that requires the hammer skill. Do you have hammers?
I have hammers. It's not great, but
Okay, yeah. Sure.
But you haven't.
nope. I
Nope.
missed.
So Belthus drives the sword in, and then immediately after that, you see the hammer come down on the table too, and crash on the table. This table probably can only take one or two more hits, and it's going to be just crushed. So the lady is going to roll a d6 to see what it does to our friend Conry. A 2. 2 is... She starts to extend her kind of mystical translucent hand, and she drives it into your chest, Conry. Right where you...
Rip.
Right kind of where your amulet was. And you can
I have
feel...
my amulet in my hand.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, where it
but-
was. Okay.
and
I get
like
what
right
you're
where
saying.
your amulet was, you can try to, well, you already had your turn, so you can't try to dodge. You're gonna suffer 2d10 points of damage and become scared. Armor has no effect.
Okay.
2d10s. 9 points of damage to Conry as something feels like it's just squeezing your heart inside your chest and sending a chill all throughout your body.
Did you want to do anything to numeral?
It's not a spell. I don't think I can.
No, at the bottom it says you can use the spell to stop magical attacks from monsters.
Is this that?
Oh, is it magical?
Well, she's reaching in my chest. I hope it's magical.
Yeah, I
You
guess
can
the
attempt.
reason I didn't say that is because I didn't realize that it applied.
You can attempt, yeah. If you'd like
I
to
think
use
I
it.
was supposed to do it before the damage roll, but
That's okay.
okay.
Because you weren't sure, I will allow it.
yeah, I was like waiting to try to figure out, wait, is she just grabbing him or is this like a spell? I don't know what's happening. Okay. So,
So it just puts up a shield, right? You spend the points, but
It's
you still
weird.
have to roll. You still have to succeed
Yeah.
in your roll.
you cast it after your opponent's roll to succeed before any roll for damage. If it succeeds, the power level of your opponent's spell decreases by the power level of your magic shield. If the result is 0 or less, your opponent's spell has no effect at all. You can also use the spell to stop magical attacks from monsters. Oh, so I guess since it's a monster, it just stops, right?
Yeah,
So I was like, why didn't we do all this complicated stuff last?
yeah. Well, you still have to roll to succeed on your spell, so you have to still cast it successfully.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have to decide if you're doing it at rank 1 and decreasing the dice by 1, or rank 2 and decreasing the damage to 0.
Well, I think because it's a monster, it just stops a monster attack.
Oh no, you got to read the last sentence.
What is it? In that case, each power level reduces the number of dice rolled for damage by 1. Yeah, I don't
Okay. Yeah.
fundamentally understand the power level thing. Like, what does that mean? Like, what?
It's
a
just
power
number of
level-
dice.
Yes.
So if I'm being attacked by 2d10, rank 1 would just take it down to 1d10. Rank
Mhm.
2 would take it down to 0d10.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So
you
then-
by making it a power level 2 and succeeding, you would in essence make it so it would block the whole attack, and he wouldn't
And
take
by-
And
any
higher
damage.
levels spend more willpower, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
4.
So it's
Yeah.
4 instead of the 2?
Yep, it would cost
Mhm.
more of your willpower to do it, but yes.
Okay. So I'll do that.
Okay. So once again, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
As the ghost lunges out towards Connery, all of a sudden Tenumeral steps out, holds out the palm of her hand, and this magical barrier forms, and the hand makes contact with the barrier, unable to penetrate through Connery's chest to squeeze his heart.
And Connery doesn't see this coming, so he just kind of looks
definitely
back
going to
at,
succeed. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
looks back at Numeral and says, "Thank you."
And that will end the lady's turn, bringing us to Kalsika.
The heck am I gonna do? You know what?
I can help in this instant, and that's it.
Kalska's nothing if not stupid and defensive of her friends. So before these two friends of mine break this table, I'm going to jump up on top of it. So I'm at her height level finally. And I'm going to... Oh, this is probably bad. I don't care. That cursed dagger we got, I took way back when.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grabbing that and I'm going to stab her with the cursed dagger.
All right, make an attack with the
Oh.
dagger.
And I'm going to make it a backstabbing roll so I can roll double damage. I will spend the willpower points on that.
Oh. Oh, look at this.
I gotta try. It's all I can do. Yeah, my dagger's fine. That hits. That attack hits. I don't have. We never went over like stats for this dagger, so should I just roll normal?
You just
Like-
roll it as if it was statted like a normal dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As my parrying dagger or my normal one?
Normal dagger, not parrying. Yeah.
Okay, just double checking which dice I need.
Oh, yeah.
That is 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. You strike and you feel like you cut through the ethereal form, and you're like backstabbing her and dragging the blade down, and you can see this black line start to form where you're carving into her. She screams and turns around and looks directly into your face, Kalsika, and you just get these chills of just ice cold feeling just crawling all over your body.
I just go at her and then move to the back of the table. That's all I got. I'm going near Beltis.
Nice hit.
I'm still backing up with the cursed dagger out. I'm like, no. These are my friends.
Hey, no, if you back up, that's going to cause you to have to roll evade for a free attack.
I'll roll an evade.
Okay, go for it.
I'm good at that. Oh yeah, I'm fine. That's a 2.
2?
On my
Oh
dice.
yeah, you are good. Bringing us to the lady. It's not going to matter anyway because she's
Nope,
going to
she's
go
coming
for
for me
you.
anyway.
And she goes towards you, screaming. It would cause. Let me see. I've got to roll evade for Connery. Well, I don't think it would matter because I think Connery used his turn already. Well, no, it's free attack. Succeeds. So
Well, he doesn't get the swipe.
doesn't get the swipe, but the lady moves towards Kalsika and rolls a d6. That's a 3. That's a little different this time. Let's see what she does. She screams in your face like a
Is
banshee.
this just an?
Is this what?
Is this just an attack against Kalska, like where I could try to be a guardian, or is this more of a?
Let's
Thing
see.
hitting
So, her face contorts into a horrible grimace and lets out a scream and chills the soul of all adventurers within 10 meters. All of
Okay.
them suffer a fear attack. Everybody must roll against their will.
Ooh.
That's everybody.
Success.
Looks like we got 2 successes. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's on a will roll though. So You don't really get it. You don't get an advancement for that. Oh, Connery.
A good roll.
Do you want to? Well,
Do I want to push it?
you could technically push
Take
it, but
a-
you're gonna take a condition.
Yeah, I'm scared too. I
Yeah,
failed.
I'll go ahead and push it.
Go ahead and push it.
Is
Okay.
this a button to push?
Yeah. You succeed.
there we
There
go.
you go. You push it, but you have to
Yeah.
take a condition.
I am. Yep.
Did you fail yours, Kalsika?
I failed mine.
Did you want to push it?
Nope, because I'm gonna be scared either way. And this narratively, I'm
Oh.
scared no matter
I'm
what.
gonna roll a d8 and let's see what happens. A 5. So scream. You scream in horror. So you just scream back.
I go like I make a raspberry at her, run away. She screams in my face, and I scream back. And
That's
everyone's
it.
just like,
They're just screaming at each other on the table there.
that's all I got.
Here's some war cry.
Excellent. And that's the end of the
Anyone else feel
lady's
like we're in an
turn.
episode of Scooby Doo.
That's
Ghost
what
pops out of the
feels
corner,
like.
screams, Shaggy screams, and they run away.
So I'm gonna.
So I was just looking it up, and I realized how overpowered Magic Shield is, because since it doesn't take an action, you can literally use it multiple times.
Yeah, well, as long as you want to spend the
Willpower.
resources and willpower to
Right,
do it.
yeah.
Once you run
So
out of
it's
your
just as strong
pool,
as that
you're
Guardian.
done. You know, it's like. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this time you guys aren't so lucky because the lady rolled the highest initiative for the second
Oh
round.
no.
So the lady is going to this time focus her attention. She's going to keep it on Kalsika because Kalsika did some damage to her, and she didn't like that very much. So we've got a 5 this time. What is 5? It's called Ghostly Embrace. The ghost emits an unnatural wheeze and suddenly appears right in front of an adventurer within 10 meters, wrapping them in a deadly embrace to smother their spark of life. Do you want to try to dodge?
Would I be able to use magic shield again?
I would say because of the nature of the ghost, I would say yes. Now,
Okay.
I am going to tell you this. It does up to 3 dice worth of damage. So, in order to make it a nil, you would have to power your spell up to 3.
This
to
is
be
an
able to-
evade roll for me.
You can evade to try to dodge if you'd like.
Yeah, I have pretty good evade, so
And if
But
I just
you will use your
cast-
action to do it though, Kalsika.
that's fine.
Yep.
If I'm avoiding.
And if I were to cast it at like, so you said it does 3 dice of damage. If I were to cast it at like a lower level, it would just knock down like
You just
one
knock down
die?
one of the die. Yeah, I think that's the way Connery explained the way that ruling
Yeah,
system
so
works.
basically, rank 1 knocks 1 die, rank 2 knocks 2, rank 3 knocks 3.
But
The
if she
higher
were
you
to
boost,
evade, then
the more-
she could evade
Then I'm okay.
all
She
the damage.
evades. She just gets out of there.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna jump out of there.
All right.
Yeah, after watching her try to successfully do everything she just did with that ghost, I'm gonna let her try again.
Okay, let's see. Connery, what's up, bud?
Michael, to remind you, we have a certain shimmering magic shield over a certain individual in our group.
Oh yeah, you have protection on Belfast, don't
Belfast
you?
still has protection, so if you wanted to
Connery.
use Guardian, technically your damage would be reduced.
Oh, because I was gonna use Guardian.
I think I can jump, guys. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple
That's
things you
you.
guys can do here. It's up to you.
This
This
is
is-
round 2 of
I
the
had
fight.
completely forgot that protection was in there.
This is round 2 of the fight, and I don't want everyone's willpower and HP going down on my behalf. I appreciate it, but okay. I'm fine.
Fine. Dodging out of the way.
It's a 10, and I have like
All right.
a 14.
So you
Yeah.
do get to move 5 or like 2 meters in any direction on a successful evade from a dodge. So
I will then go hide behind Belthus over here. I'll jump
okay,
off
you
the
got it. Yep. As the lady comes and tries to wrap her arms around you after screaming in your face, you scream back and just dive back behind Belthus.
Castle's just going, "You're not my mom. You're not my mom. You're not my mom." Jumps off and runs away.
Oh man.
So good. Geyer, it's your go.
Okay. So Geyer, seeing this woman go after his little Calcica, is getting somehow even angrier. So I'm going to burn a couple of will points to use my ill-tempered ability to give myself a boon on my next roll, because I'm already angry, so why the hell not do it anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm going to try to hit this thing with my hammer again.
Go for it. You have a boon, so you take the lower result.
Okay, that did not work.
Oh no.
Mm.
Did it
I
roll
see
twice?
this thing down
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Can I push a weapon attack?
Yes. A weapon attack is a skill, so you can push it. If you take a condition.
Yep.
Poor conditions rolling, man.
And when you push, do you get to roll the boon again?
You roll it with the boon, yeah.
Okay. So, seeing that he's not doing much, you can see that he just seems to be getting almost sick with himself and failing. And I'm going to take the sickly condition and I'm going to try again.
Sickly, yes. Oh no. Oh no.
Yep. Failed again.
Oh, that was a terrible roll. Oh,
That was
gosh.
the first one.
Geyer just looks like he's gonna pass out, guys. Like he's swinging this hammer. It's just, he looks sick. He looks angry. He looks exhausted. Everything. Poor Geyer.
That poor table is probably getting crippled.
Yeah, the table's just getting drilled. Would you like to move, Geyer? Or are you staying put?
Geyer is going to step up and get between Calcica and this creature.
Oh, sickly Geyer crawls up onto the table, wielding this hammer.
On the, leaning the hammer on the ground, sort of leaning on it.
To numeral, you're seeing all this. It's your turn.
Yeah. My teammates are not looking so good, particularly the duck. But, I'm just gonna hang. Actually, I'll take one little step forward here. So I'm like kind of in the right behind the doorway. And I'll just like set up to hold dodge if it comes near me.
Okay. You got it. The lady looks towards Geyer now that Geyer has jumped up in front. And is going to roll a d6. See what? Oh, a 6. Cold strike. The ghost grabs a victim and lets the icy chill of death stream into their body.
No bueno?
Would you like... Oh, well, you already used your turn. So you can't evade.
Wait, who's she going after?
Or something?
What's that?
She's going after Geyer.
Yeah.
I will definitely try to insert myself between her and Sir Mallard.
Okay. Jumping in front. What's that do? You just spend your willpower points and you absorb the damage?
And then they're required to attack me instead of him.
So you're going to suffer 2d8 points of damage, and
Gotcha.
you cannot heal HP or WP until you spend one shift in a warm location. And armor is not going to have any effect on these on this.
It is a magical attack then, right?
I'm considering all these magical attacks.
So because he has protector, it takes the damage dice down by 1.
By 1. You got it. So it's 1.
All right.
3 points of damage.
Okay, but now I can't heal anything
You can't
until I go
heal
spend
because
whole shift.
all of a sudden you're just like chilled. Like you just feel cold. You're shivering. You even have probably like frost on your armor. And that's what she does for her turn. It's Grub's turn. Grub tries
Oh my God,
to
Grub.
scramble up the rope.
Hope he falls and gets hurt.
I don't think did we leave the rope down?
I thought you guys did.
I
Because
can't remember.
didn't you guys have it like
Grabbed
hooked?
it.
You guys wrapped it up somewhere around like one of the trees or something up there.
I just remember
tried
that
to
there was
grab it,
discussion
but
about
Geyer
it.
told me not to.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because the
Yeah, 'cause you were
idea was to
floating.
levitate back up, but he
Yeah.
doesn't want to use
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, guy. Grub seems as if Grub is having a very difficult time climbing the rope.
Good.
It's sliding back down it, just desperately trying to get out. That ends Grub's turn. Kalsika, you're up.
Would my dodging her, that would be my turn then from before when she tried to hug me?
Yes, that was your action. You still have movement, so if you'd like to use your movement on your turn, you can.
I'm far enough away from her.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah. You can. Yeah, you're far enough away. You can move freely.
I'm gonna go here for now and just keep blowing raspberries at her like an idiot.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go, Geyer, get away from her, as I make faces at the lady.
You got
And
it.
I'll probably start trying to shout the words from her ancient language back at her, just to
Okay.
be obnoxious. I'm probably saying them wrong and probably insulting her even more than I realize I am, but it's fine.
Perfect. Belthus, it is your turn.
All right. Knowing that my sword has done absolutely nothing to this
Oh,
spectral
actually-
entity.
Sorry, could
Okay.
I have flipped Belthus instead of moving? Could I have given him my cursed dagger?
I would say that would cost
That's
your
an action?
action, so
Okay.
I would say no, not on this turn.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't think so. Okay,
Mm.
very fair.
Fair enough. Yeah, given that my sword is doing nothing against this spectral entity, can I swap it out for my torch?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And then lighting the torch, is that going to take my whole action?
Let me see. It
I wonder,
might-
actually, I just wasn't looking this up. Yeah.
Let me double check something. Torch. What are the rules for torches? Probably not in. Probably in the equipment section. Torch and lantern. A torch or lantern up to 5 meters in all directions. Lighting a torch or lantern is an action, and requires flint and tinder or fire to light it with.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll spend my action just
Okay.
lighting up the
You light up the torch. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
So Belthus has
end turn.
put his sword away. He's got a torch out now, wielding it, and
So-
brings us to.
So now he needs a light circle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How much a torch lantern in one hand means a two-handed means you cannot use two-handed weapons. A torch lantern.
Yeah, I am torch and
Hmm.
shield right now, I'm assuming.
I'm trying to see if there was like a radius that it. Oh, torch is
10?
5 squares.
5.
Yep.
10
10 meters. Yep. Cool. Yeah. So Connor, you're up.
Alrighty. Gonna continue. So if I enter the door in a diagonal way, now I'm still in her range. I'm gonna pivot around to this side, so I'm surrounded by allies. Now, mind you, it still has not been an entire shift, so embarrassingly, I am leaving a trail of flowers everywhere. I'm gonna extend my amulet out towards the ghostly figure, and I'm gonna do purge again.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, a dragon.
Let's see.
Damage range.
Immediately cast another spell, but get a bane on the roll. Or
Whoa!
Or this spell does
Damage
not count
bonus
any
roll.
willpower points.
That
Oh,
is
that's pretty
tempting.
cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna double the damage.
Double the damage.
So what is that? 4d10?
4d10.
Jeez.
4d10.
Oh, buddy.
Bye, lady. Oh Jesus!
That is some like
Whoa!
unbelievable damage.
Amazing roll.
Look at those rolls.
That is amazing. So, so describe this to us. What's it look like when you cast this and you get this demon or this dragon roll?
When I think of Connery, I think kind of like his background would be like a gypsy, that of like a gypsy or Romanian. So as he's dancing into the room, the flowers are just kind of following along him. He thrusts his amulet out, and just light fills the entire room and burns her away.
You just hear this painful scream, tortured scream, lash out throughout the chamber as you guys are blind, like holding yourself, like arms in front of you, like from this blinding light coming from Connery. And when the light dissipates, you no longer see this ghostly form in the room. And that's where we're going to take our break for the evening.
Oh!
Hello, and thank you so much for hanging out with us here at Proficiency Bonus. Please take an opportunity to support our sponsors.
First up is Little Dragon Corp. Little Dragon Corp is an online storefront based in the Great White North of Canada. They sell everything your heart could desire, so long as everything your heart desires is largely polyhedral dice sets and other TTRPG sundries. Check them out for all of your dicey needs. Perhaps buy a lovely hardcover copy of one of these fine books. If you're feeling especially cute, you could treat yourself to a t-shirt or one of these fine little proprietary Little Dragon Corp dragon plushies. They've got all the classic types of dragon, like Mooney, Terra, Dad. Whatever strikes your fancy over on Little Dragon Corp, be sure to enter our special promo code BONUS at checkout for 15% off of your order. That's BONUS, BONUS, for 15% off your order. That's like if you made 7 individual purchases, you could basically buy anything you want on the store, and it's like it was free with all the money that you saved from earlier. I'm absolutely positive that's how math works, and I will be taking no questions at this time. Thank you, Little Dragon Corp.
Cardboard Castle Games is a brick-and-mortar game store local to Evans, Georgia. They have a wide selection of tabletop gaming and other cool games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards, and even Yu-Gi-Oh! You can visit them in-store and let them know that we sent you, or you can go visit their website at cardboardcastlegames.com.
Don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Links to our social media pages and outlets are located below this video.
Don't forget, you can also support the channel by following, by subscribing, remembering to click the bell notification so you never miss another live stream, using channel emotes, and if you're an Amazon Prime user, you get a free subscription to Twitch every month.
While we are away, now is a great time to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free, and there you will find hours upon hours of content to enjoy. Click the bell icon to activate notifications so you won't miss a single show. Once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you are enjoying the show, and we'll be back in just a moment. the party has just eliminated a terrifying ghost from this chamber as it emerged from the mummified woman's body there after Geyer took the hammer from the table. There's a chill about the room as the armored figure of Belthus holds a burning torch high in the air. Conry's still amulet glowing light within the room.
Geyer has hopped off the table and is clawing at this door, trying to get through it.
Okay. Conry, you're bolting back towards the goblin.
I'm glad you noticed.
Are you going to try to grab Grub?
I am going to try to grab.
Okay.
That's the one.
Go ahead and I'm going to give you a boon on your roll. A boon on your
my
brawling.
roll sucks.
Go for a boon on your brawling.
Oh, sorry. I'm scrolled up because I was looking at the chat history. So
you still beat Grub. So Grub's trying to climb back up the rope, and you just reach up and kind of grab and pull Grub right off the rope.
I'm just have him over my shoulder and come back into the room.
Grub is crying like just terrified.
Just gonna bring him back with me.
I just want out of here. Please let me go.
Sorry, it's a numeral. I didn't mean to put my character on top. There we go.
You guys can hear screaming as the goblin Grub is being dragged back into the room. And just to kind of refresh your memories from last time in went the wrong way. When you guys saw this room, the door that you were going to, Geyer, there is... So it's like an iron-fitted oak door back there, and it bears some kind of ancient symbol that's in glittering silver upon the door.
Ooh.
Geyer basically just has the hammer because he is in full-on panic mode at the massive amount of magic that just went off in his face.
Got it?
And if the door won't open when he grabs the handle, just with the hammer just banging on it, trying to get through.
No, Kalska does this.
Kalska's trying to stop you. What do you do?
You have keys, Mr.
Oh,
Geyer.
no, is he gonna roll?
Yep. Nope. He's just swinging away. He is in full panic mode.
As you hit the door seems to open.
Oh.
It worked.
Running straight in.
Okay. In the middle of this chamber, there are torches on the walls. There is a podium with an ornate sarcophagus of stone. The floor, ceiling, and walls are all made of stone bricks. A painting of a ridden dragon can be seen on the far wall.
Is it the same dragon I saw in my vision?
As you look, you believe it to be Numeral.
Is the sarcophagus open?
Sarcophagus is open, and the lid seems to be shattered upon the floor.
Geyer is diving into it, hearing Conry coming up behind him.
Okay, diving into it. One thing that you do notice when you dive into it, near the top of the sarcophagus, you see what looks to be an elegant gilded crown sitting near the top where the head of the... You're gonna grab it?
Yep.
Okay. I need everybody except for Geyer and Numeral to make an evade roll, please.
Oh no. Hold on, do I have a disadvantage? Yeah, I do.
So Kalsika, Conry, and Belthus.
I'm fine.
That's a fail.
Oh no!
I have a demon.
A demon! You can put a mark next to evade there, Belthus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and push it.
Okay, you can push it. Oh, much better.
All right, succeeded.
All right, there you go. Take a condition there.
Up to 2.
So all of a sudden, as you pick up the crown and you just snatch it, Geyer, It seemed like it was on some kind of weighted plate, and the plate just went and shifted a little bit, and spikes shoot out from all around the sarcophagus bottom, the base, and these spikes just jab into everybody around. Some people are just jumping to dodge out of the way. So 2d6 piercing damage coming to anybody who failed. 6 points of damage. Armor does protect you from this. Okay.
Cool.
I believe you have to make a roll
I have to make a roll.
for grub.
Oh yeah, you drug Grub into the room.
He's carrying grub.
Yep. Let's see
Oh,
how.
no.
Let's see how Grub.
Oh,
is.
no.
If
poor
grub
Grub.
gets skewered.
Grub succeeds.
All right, thank God.
Champion.
I am pretty sure Grub succeeds. Let me double check just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure they have pretty good when it comes to evade. Yes, they're good. They are good. All right, yeah. Grub dives out of the way and is freaking out. But yeah, you have this crown in your hand.
I climb into the sarcophagus too, since I avoided the spikes. I imagine I jumped closer to the sarcophagus and like clinging to the side, and I'll scramble in with Geyer just to see what's
You
in
see
there.
Geyer, he's laying there, hammer in one hand, picked up the crown and is putting it over his hat. He's got the crown on the outside of the hat he wears.
Kasuga just nods like that's normal, and I look, I like search the sarcophagus for it. I'm always looking for treasure. Let's be clear, but I'm trying to figure out if this thing is big enough to have housed the white we saw walking around. Like, is this where it came from?
You like just looking at it. Yeah, you think that
Like,
armor
Broad enough, long enough.
Oh yeah, the dimensions are really close.
Tight. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to roll anything to see if I find anything else in here?
You're looking around. You do
Found the
not
only
see
thing.
anything else in this sarcophagus.
I will.
That gilded crown on the mallard's head looks fantastic, though.
It looks great. She has no problems with this at all.
absolutely.
She pats Geyer on the shoulder.
Crown
Mr.
him King Geyer.
Kasuga's down for this time.
My liege.
Mr. Geyer,
Is he out there?
this is the thing that the guy came out of. I think we should get out of it.
Oh.
We should probably go back up.
We need to look, don't we? Isn't there supposed to be a statue or something here?
We thought there might be. I don't know. Do we want to keep looking?
What if he has it?
While you guys are having this conversation, to numeral, you were looking at that dragon fresco that was on the wall.
Yes.
As you're kind of like peering at it a little bit more in depth, you can see that the dragon has a knight on its back, and it's wearing the same exact gear and horn helm that you saw that white have on it that was moving about the room. And you also can see that there's some ancient runes kind of engraved on the wall beside the fresco. If you'd like to, you can make a language roll to see if you can cipher any of the runes.
I do not.
It's ancient tongue. You do notice as you're looking at Geyer, that gilded crown also has some engravings and markings in it. You could even
I'm looking at Geyer.
anybody could make a languages roll.
Yeah, I'm looking right at him. And I also understood the lady earlier randomly, so.
This one guy's probably climbing his way out and taking a couple steps back from Henri.
This is languages?
Languages, yeah.
I missed by one.
Missed by one.
Still failing. I do not gain anything off the crown either.
It's hard to understand. This is all like old language, old stuff that you guys probably wouldn't have had.
Geyer's going to see everybody looking at him, take his hat off and look at the crown.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm going to have any luck given my mental state, but what the heck. Languages. Nope.
Belthus looks pretty stumped too. So is Conry.
Okay.
Should have brought an expert.
I need some sleep.
Um,
We need to find that statue, right?
Yes.
Is it okay if I how can I put this? Persuade Grub into giving it a try and identifying the language.
Grub is sitting there crying. I'll try.
How does he get a better roll than all of us?
But Grub looks at it and is like, it looks like scratches. Lots of scratches. Can we leave now? I want to leave.
Very, very good, Grub.
And at
We
that,
sure not scraping anymore.
oh yeah, and actually you're starting to hear it louder, and you're starting to hear the pitter and the patter of the footprints.
Nope.
Once again.
Can I jumping out of the sarcophagus and out of that room?
Yeah.
Can I try to tell which way it's coming from?
You can, because you can actually see it.
Gosh, darn it.
Because it is basically walking dead center. I will put you
Oh, great.
right blocking your way out. Let me see.
All right. As soon as we see it, I would like to slip a copper coin to Grub, and I would like to lean in on him and deeply inhale to activate my racial ability to track him. And I would like to whisper in his ear, as soon as you get a chance, run away, return to your marmalade, and be safe.
Okay. I'll let that happen, but then right now we're gonna pull initiative cards because it seems that Balthus's wish has come to fruition as the white
A true fight.
has returned for another round. So I'm gonna grab everybody and we're going to go ahead and get some initiative
It
going.
still has not been a shift, correct?
It
Since
still
we entered?
It still has not been a shift.
Okay. So you still got your protector.
That's a good thing.
Nice.
And I'm still making flowers everywhere.
Okay,
That's probably how he found us. He followed the flowers.
You took flowers out of the city, back into the city, over to us, in the whole way here.
So I'm gonna add all these
Probably.
turns that I need, and then we're gonna go initiative. I'm gonna shuffle them first just to see if that helps.
Be hilarious. The
There we
white
go.
shows up with a sword in one hand and a bouquet of flowers in the other.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting how this happens, considering what the initiative order just had.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Oh no.
Is that Grub the white, me, and the white again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Grub runs out of the room,
Oh no.
Oh,
Rip.
no.
looks straight towards, sees that creature, and goes towards this door and just starts grabbing it and going, panicking, just trying to shake at that door. That's all of Grub's turn on round one. And that brings the white up. The white, lunging forward, just like trudging through the door, steps right up towards Kalsika. And is going to roll a d6. And that is a 6. On the d6, let's see what our friend does. Power attack. With creaking joints, the white swings its massive weapon in a powerful attack against the character. The damage is rolled with twice the weapon's normal number damage of dice.
Ooh.
And the victim is knocked to the ground. The attack can be parried. So this is one you can dodge or parry if you choose. But remember, parrying also requires your weapon to be durable.
It's definitely not durable against that. Kalska's gonna jump.
Okay, you got it.
I have a parrying dagger. We've seen this man's weapon. I'm no, I'm not that stupid. I jump out of the way.
Okay. Do you succeed?
I succeed.
All right.
It's a
So
3.
yep. So you can go ahead and move 5 feet or 2 meters in any direction as you successfully evade out of this massive Morningstar just crushes the stone floor beneath you. Like sends shards all up. Guy, or you have to like dodge these shards from this massive impact. And that ends the White's turn, bringing us to Tenumeral.
Oh, lucky me. So I'm gonna just like step a little over to the side here.
Gotcha.
Like all the way to the side. Or actually maybe I'll just stay I'll just stay right here, just one square over.
Okay.
And I'll hold like a dodge, I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a d4 to see which direction. 1 Calcica, 2 Geyer, 3 Grub, 4 Tenumeral. Calcica. It comes towards you. Once again. D6. That's a 3.
Doesn't he need to make an evade roll?
Oh, he would. Yeah.
He went past Geyer.
He went past Geyer. 15. Does not succeed. You can get a free attack against him if you choose.
Okay. I'm going to burn 2 will points and use my ill temper again to get a boon on the roll.
Okay.
I'm still holding the hammer, so that's what I'm swinging with.
You got it.
Oh, nice.
It did
And that only rolled 1. It didn't roll. Oh, I forgot to put the boon on.
Do you have a Bane too, so it would cancel it out?
I don't know. Let me try.
Because I know you got a ton of conditions, so you might be rolling
Yeah,
with a lot of Bane.
you'd have a bane on that because it's exhaustion against your strength.
Okay.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, it probably just rolled 1, so that's what it's giving you the...
Yep.
Yep. So, just the you being up on the table, you don't get a good enough swing at him and almost lose your balance in the process. He moves over. He did roll a 3, I believe, was what I said? Yeah. 3 is... he's done this one before. He pulls up his hand and this pulse goes like force push happens. Where it goes... and you feel this pulse and it goes to throw you. And you already used your action to dodge.
Can I magic shield?
You can.
Okay.
It's up to you.
That's gonna be me. I feel like this whole
I think
campaign.
I'm gonna leave it up to you. I think what I'm gonna do from now on is I'm not gonna tell you guys how powerful it is. So that way you guys got to determine how much of your juice you wanna do. Because I don't think it tells. I don't think you're as the GM. It doesn't. I don't think the rules state that I have to say how powerful it is.
Yeah. So my number for mentalism is 14.
Ooh.
Is it?
Yeah, and you rolled a 14. Yeah, so it's success. So
right.
you doing power level 1 or are you doing any higher?
Let me do power level. Let me look at my roll.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think power level 1 is 2 willpower points. Power level 2 would be 4. And it increases by 2 each time, right?
Yep. Maximum 3.
So then I think I'll do just at power level 1.
Okay. Yeah, it does succeed. And it does block most of it. You do get tossed 2 meters, which you just slam into this wall. And you slide down the wall, and you're technically like sitting there now. You took 2 points of damage that armor protects you from.
So that's fine.
And you're considered prone.
Okay. Got it.
And that ends the White's turn, bringing us to Kalsika, which you have a movement if you'd like to use it, or you can stay put. Your choice.
I'll just stand up and look him straight in the face all the way up
All the way.
and just go, you know, if you weren't such a jerk all the time, we would have left by now. And that's my turn.
He tilts his head to the side.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
I can't attack him, I can't do anything, and I'm not stupid enough to run. So.
Connor, you're up.
All right, so let me get into the room so I can see what's going on here.
Did Belthus just shut the door?
No, not intentionally.
Oh, it's like Belthus is like,
Bam, right into the door.
Stay here with me.
Like, let the dog out, please. So, entering the room, seeing the situation, knowing his strategic plan to let the goblin lead him to Marmalade, I am not willing to let the White ruin my plans. So I am going to rush over to the aid of Kalsika and Grub.
Okay.
And I am going to attempt a topple.
Okay.
So the evade to beat is a 15. Because it is considered a monster, right?
It is, yes, yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Ooh.
So I have to roll against this, right?
I believe. Hold on. I believe I have to.
I think
do it
that's
against a 15. So I think that's a fail. Because it says.
yeah. You have to.
A player character can try to topple a monster rolling against a default evade skill level of 15 for all monsters.
Okay, yeah. Let's see what
So-
I want to double check topple. You try to topple an enemy to the ground instead of inflict damage. Opposed roll. So, you make a roll with your weapon.
5.
Okay, and then I roll
Uh-huh.
evade, but I only have to get a 15. So you succeed. If I get it under a 15, I succeed, but the better result would be the tiebreaker. You topple him.
All right. So he is now toppled.
Toppled over, so he is prone onto the ground as Connery's able to trip up the White.
Oh, I actually forgot. Sorry. Just in case I get a demon roll, I do get a boon for. All right. That wasn't any
All
better.
So Kalsika, as you're staring up, all of a sudden it tilts its head to the side, and then it topples over right in front of you and clangs onto the ground. I think that will end Connery's turn.
Yeah, that's gonna end my turn.
Bring us to Geyer, standing on the table with his hammer.
Okay, Gyra's gonna climb off the table over here, still keeping a little distance from himself and Connery,
Mm-hmm.
and then gonna try to bring the hammer down on him.
Technically, you would have a boon to your roll because the
Yep.
creature is prone,
And an extra d6 damage.
and an extra d6 damage on melee attacks. when
Nice.
creatures are prone. That's right.
Let's see here.
But it actually doesn't specify melee, so I think it's all attacks get d6.
Oh!
Holy hell.
Look at that!
What?
He hit it!
What?
He hit it!
Man, you gotta improve your hammers.
So basically, as far as weapon goes, damage. This we're gonna use the it's a war hammer. So whenever you search your weapon damage, war hammer, it'd be a light war hammer. So it's 2d6
Okay.
is its base damage.
Connery, and you said there was an extra D6 on it?
d6.
That's 3
Yeah.
D6.
Yeah, and if you have any bonuses to, I think that one's
No,
strength. though.
that's a strength-based
Yeah.
weapon, so.
Oh.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Slam down onto him. Here's the thing, Geyer. You put a dent in his armor on his chest. This guy's armor is just heavy. and you just slam down with all your might and just put a little dent in it. Boom.
Look at the hammer. There, just hoping it was magic. Would have been worth more money. I would have had to get rid of it.
All right.
I'm gonna try to mimic what I heard Kalska say earlier in that ancient language to the lady. As I
It's
back out
insulting
of the
them.
room.
Oh my god.
Very nice. So you're gonna try to evade out of there?
Yep.
All right, go for it. Make your evade roll.
Yep, I'm good.
Succeed. Yeah, it's Geyer's quacking and waddling all the way out of that portcullis open door. Belthus, you've just witnessed that, and you're up.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna step into the room, drop my torch so I can switch back to the sword.
Okay, yeah.
Because I need to fight this gentleman of the sword. Gonna head in 2, 4, 6, kind of get up close. Remembering what I saw Geyer do last time we fought him, where he kind of found like a spot in the armor. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of hold my sword instead of in slashing mode. I'm gonna get into piercing mode and try to find a weak spot between his armor.
So what this will do is you'll have a bane for that, but a boon for it being prone. So,
gotcha. 1 and 1, and I will try with a sword here. And before I fail here, I am gonna get angry because I've been itching to fight this guy. I've been itching to fight him. So
yes.
I'm gonna take a
condition to anger and
push the roll here and try again.
No! He sees you coming, he's just rolling from side to side, and you're just like just hitting the stone. So good. And turn. You got anything else you can do? No? All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next round. We're going to reshuffle everybody up and deal new initiative cards. Oh, I think I have to reshuffle everything. Shuffle again. Let's try that again. Sometimes this thing just can't handle it. There we go. Oh, well, you're going to get your wish. Because he's going to stand up as the white gets to go first. And he's going to look right at Belthus. Seeing the armored champion back out here. And he's going to roll a 2. He stares deep into your soul, Belthus. You can see the blue eyes start to glow within the skull face. You look into the horrible eyes and hear a wheezing sound through the creature's what you could only imagine could be his throat, and you become scared. And the victim becomes scared, suffers a fear attack, and gets a bane on their will roll. So I need you to make a will roll to resist this fear attack.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I have the bane yet because I am now scared? So do I already have a bane, or is it?
It just says that you make the will roll with a bane in the monster's attack. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll roll twice. The worst one is 14. I think it's still fine.
You're still good. Yeah. You still succeed. So even though you can see these glowing eyes, you finally have your mark standing in front of you, Belthus. You've been waiting this whole trip to Riddermound for this moment. It's not going to scare you.
Not in this moment. I'm not going to back down. End turn.
To numeral, you're up.
Yeah. It's my turn. I'm gonna just hang out in this corner. I'm gonna let the tough, strong people do tough, strong people stuff over there. I don't think I feel like playing the knife fetch game for 2 turns. I'm not gonna try to do any damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out back here.
Okay. Hold on to your action.
Yeah. What I might hold on to.
I am going to remind you that draped over that chair that you're nearby is a beautiful set of what looks to be ancient chainmail.
Yeah, that's cool. If I put that on, I won't be able to do any spells.
Yeah, no.
But somebody does need to pick it up.
So that won't be me. I will maybe. I'm wondering if can I like hold a spell as an action? Like if on the next monster turn it tries to do a spell against me, can I like hold to do like dispel?
Well, dispel is a reaction spell anyway, right?
No, magic shield is. Dispel's a different one.
Yeah, dispel's the one that like well, it's just like dispel from D&D. It removes if the enemy had protector.
It says you cancel an ongoing spell of lower or equal power level.
Okay, so that says ongoing spell. So that'd be something that more has like it's already like an ongoing effect on something.
Like a condition or
like,
something.
Yeah, like
to get rid of my flower trail. Or
yeah. You could dispel
protector.
it on Balthus and get rid of his protector because it's something that's like a aura, like a magical aura that's on him.
Balthus's face. No.
But yeah, it wouldn't like. It's not like here's a spell coming, dispel, and it just like dissipates it automatically. It doesn't work. It's not like a reaction like that, so it wouldn't work.
Cool. So I'm very glad I asked. I was like,
Yeah.
what's the difference between these two anyway? Besides, one's a reaction, one's not. I'm like,
Yeah,
can I
if you get to a spot that has like a powerful magical ward put on it, like you could use dispel for that.
Yeah.
Magical locks on doors, you could dispel those.
Okay. And then, so there was the thing that happened to Balthus where, like, he has this, like, chill on him and, like, can't heal. Would Dispel work to try to affect that, or no?
I would allow that, yeah.
Cool. So... and we still have the rope, so I don't need to levitate everybody out of here, so I don't need to save all my willpower points for that. Yeah, so I'll roll for that. So I will cast that, looking over, see what I can do. As I'm seeing my friend over there taking on this white, his armor is frosted. I'm gonna want to try to see if I can affect that.
And you do.
And it works.
Yeah, the frost seems to dissipate and flake off of your armor, Balthus, as you don't feel so cold anymore.
I'm energized. Thank you, ladies. Here. Thank you.
She'll nod and stay back in this corner.
You got it. Outside, Geyer, what would you like to do?
Geyer has started to sort of backing away, thinking people are going to be moving this direction, and seeing that no one is, and that
Geyer's like, let's get out of here.
Unable to deal with this individual, Geyer's going to step back into the room, pull out his dagger, and again is going to burn another 2 will points to get even angrier.
Okay.
To give myself a boon on my knife attack roll. Because I am going to look for a weak spot. So basically I'm just going to turn it into a straight roll.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
And try to slip my knife into this person. And that'll do it.
That'll do it. You hit. Go ahead and you can roll your damage.
10 points of damage that armor cannot.
10 points of damage that armor
This guy's
has.
just going to come in right behind him and go right for that, soft spot right under the arm.
And yeah, you find that spot, and Balthus, as you're watching this too, and Geyer, you could probably watch this as well. Like, you have, like, you've seen people get hit here in combat. You've seen people get hit, and most men, that's a killing blow.
Oh.
This creature, it notices it, it turns its head towards Geyer, but it doesn't seem to affect it as much as you would have thought and hoped.
Gonna look down at my knife and look over at Calcica. Just give a little bit of a nod to her.
Do I notice this?
I would say, yeah, you guys are all right next to it. So, yeah.
All right.
Anything else, Geyer?
Let's see, that was 2, 4, 6, 8. And Guy's gonna sort of come circle around and start clustering in, stepping a little closer to Calcica.
All right. Connery, you're up.
All right. Having noticed that Geyer, what's the word I'm looking for? Found a weak point and did not do much damage and wasn't affected by it. Connery pretty much knows that it's gonna need a little more oomph. So,
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, here we go.
that is a success on a power level 3 purge.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So that's what, 6d10 damage? Is that what that is?
No, 4d10.
4d10.
So that's gonna be 18 damage.
18 damage.
Oh.
Assuming
Armor
it's
has no
undead
effect.
or a demon.
You see, like, it erupts with this glowing blue flame as it's like screaming out. Like, you hear this strange wheezing of a scream as it's calling out. You can see its jaw of the skull like open up within the helm, and it does not seem to be happy one bit. It is still up. But
Thank
it is-
God,
but
because
it
I was
is-
gonna look apologetically
Yeah,
to belt
damage.
this because I know it's his kill.
We just need to kill it.
Ending your turn, Connery?
With that, yeah, I'm gonna stay within range.
Okay, because then the white is immediately going to attack you.
Why?
With a 6, and it's fitting because that is the power strike.
Now, can I jump in and take a power strike for him?
You can. Yes.
Okay.
You got to spend your willpower, but yes, you can.
Absolutely.
So it swings this massive morning star, and Belthus jumps into the way of the attack.
Mr. President!
All I think about every time you do this is just Mr. Presidenting all over.
Yeah,
So-
it's just jumping everywhere.
It's going to be 4d8 bludgeoning.
Ooh, Protector ain't gonna save you for that.
13 points of damage.
Thank God for low rolls. Look at those rolls.
Yeah, those are low rolls.
Thank God for armor. Jeez.
Yeah, and your armor does help. You are also knocked to the ground. It does say, well, can as a protector, you have to take the damage, right? Like, you can't, like, step in front and parry, right? It's like you have to take the damage. For
There are
protection.
additional heroic things that I have to take on to be able to do that.
Got it.
I think.
Yep, so you
I
get...
think Guardian is the attack just attacks him.
Yeah.
I think he still
Oh, I
goes
still
through
do that.
the.
Is that what it says?
Let's see. You do not hesitate to take a hit for your friends. If you and another player were both within 2 meters, you try to attack another character, you can activate this ability to force the enemy to attack you instead. Yeah, it's just a regular attack
It
against
says
him.
that you can...
Not parrying, though.
Not parrying? Okay, I was going to say, technically you
Oh.
could parry it or dodge it, but you'd use your action to do so, so...
Yeah. I'm going to
Okay.
take the hit.
So he takes the hit and gets slammed down to the ground next to Connery. Okay, that's the white's turn, and that brings us to Belthus.
All right, with a clatter of armor, I'm going to stand back up, kind of stretch a little, feeling warmer thanks to Numeral's help earlier.
Yep.
And I'm going to kind of continue to try to find that angle on this creature. And I guess I get a Bane because this is Fine Weak Spot. No boons.
Yep.
I'm going to do a sword attack.
Oh, look at that.
That is-
That is a good
Good
roll. Yeah, a good
That's
roll.
a really good roll. All right.
You found the weak spot. What's your damage? You can roll your damage for your sword.
All right, it's, let's see. Oh, I should have just clicked the sword, but 2d6. Let's see if I do this right.
Nice.
Well,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's a
Nice
nice
roll.
roll. Nice roll. Now, one thing that you and you see this too, like you found the weak spot. Actually, you remember where Geyer put the knife, and so you tuck your blade down and kind of do an uppercut strike with the sword. Find that same weak spot. You realize, like, there's something about this creature that is holding it together, that these weapons are not able to do the kind of damage that they should. You damaged it.
Yeah.
But you it's not doing
like flesh.
It's not like cutting through flesh. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's still up, but looks like he's like parts of his armor are falling apart, and it looks like he's barely able to hold himself together.
We're almost there. And turn.
It's Grub's turn.
Christ.
Grub, be a hero.
Grub sees an opportunity with all this happening. Is going to try to evade and run around to the door. Let's see if Grub can evade successfully. Has an evade score of 12. Succeeds. So Grub runs. Jumps onto the table. And gets to about right here. To the door. Crawls across the table in a panic. End of Grub's turn. Calcica.
Going to expend my willpower points to backstab him again.
Okay.
Or not again, again in this game, but first time I'm backstabbing him. Hopefully.
What weapon are you using?
I'm going to use the cursed dagger.
Cursed dagger, you got it.
Oh.
That's what's been in my hand the whole time, so she hasn't put it away yet.
Okay.
That succeeds by 1.
Succeeds by 1, okay.
Ooh.
Roll your damage.
Oh god, okay. 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay, here's what happens. So you take the dagger, and you remember seeing Geyer find a weak spot in the armor earlier, like right behind the helm, like right at the neck. Mm-hmm. So you take the cursed dagger and you kind of jump up at an opportune time. You see Belthus is still driving the sword up into the armor, like twisting it around, seeing how much like bone he can break within the armored shell of this creature. And you take the dagger and you just drive it into the back of the neck. It's like a slow motion. You're like, drive it in the back. And then all of a sudden you guys hear this strange noise. It sounds like air being sucked out of a plane. If the door flew off of a plane and the air was just being sucked out, like decompression happening. All of a sudden this wind starts to blow around the room, and you guys see the blue glow from inside the skull of this creature, and all of a sudden it looks like it's shriveling a little bit. And all of a sudden you hear this sound as it goes into the dagger, and the armor goes and just scatters across the floor.
The thingy went into the dagger?
It seemed like the blue glow, and it's just like,
oh god.
And you guys are out of combat.
So as the armor hits the floor and scatters about, I'm gonna yell to Grub, "Run! It's not really dead. It'll come back any moment now. You better go. Return to your people. Tell them of our valor. Blah 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 blah."
Grub is running in a panic.
Calcica just looks at the blade and just goes, "Whoops," and puts it away, and then just as if she's numb, is going to walk around here and grab that chainmail, because she's like, "Okay, we're gonna talk about the glowy thing in the dagger later," and grab the chainmail. And
Nice.
Did
Numeral pick it up or no?
The armor, no.
The chainmail, yeah. You
left it. Oh, okay.
Metal's
yeah, because it'll nullify my magic, so I'm not gonna wear that.
Oh, the
I'm
metal.
not. I can't even put it on. I don't think. I'm just gathering it for the cart for sale.
Geyer's looking through the armor this thing was wearing. Do I find anything in his armor?
Thing about the armor is it's just like it's broken pieces, just like laying everywhere. You don't even really think you could even salvage it. It looks like junk.
I'm more looking to see maybe that statue piece, if it was like it inside somewhere, this undead creature.
You don't see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while Geyer's looking at that, I'm gonna use his attention since it's focused on that, to come up behind him and put my hand on his shoulder and gently kneel in and say, I notice you've been avoiding me.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
As that happens, Geyer is going to turn with the hammer, try to topple, not hurt him, just try to knock Connor down, and then follow Grub.
Okay.
Follow club.
So you gotta roll with your weapon, and you gotta beat an 11. You gotta succeed, and you gotta beat an 11
Yep, so this is...
to topple your wolf.
You
So
actually
maybe I
get
get a bane on this because
No.
the White Warhammer has a toppling on it.
Yeah, so you get a boon for
Boon,
that
not a
one.
bane.
Oh, you get a boon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There you
Yeah, so Connor's going down, I think.
go. Well,
That is a demon and a
Ooh.
bane.
oh, a demon and a 16. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're unable to topple the wolfkin. You're just not
We
good
just
with hammers quite
hop
yet.
over
You're
the
just,
hammer.
I'm going to push it because I'm freaking out. That's what I'm
You're
gonna
gonna push it? Take another condition?
No. No.
Oh, he does it.
I jump over the first one and then get hit by a second one.
Give me the second one.
One, two.
You jump over. You jumped over the hammer, but you bumped your head on the corner of the table in the room.
Oh.
And then Geyer is just full sprint.
Asuka will run after him with her arms full of chainmail going, I don't know what I did! I don't know what I did! Let's get out of here! And
What about the
it's just-
statue?
Yeah, so to numeral, now that all of these things have happened, would probably scan this room and the room with the sarcophagus with her eye to see if she can find like a spot where maybe the statue piece might be hidden.
You look around, and you guys did a pretty good search.
Okay.
You're thinking it just might not be here.
So Connery's gonna stand up and brush the dirt off of his keister and just be like, all right, well, looks like we're done here.
And you guys have the hammer, right?
Geyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the mail.
Yeah, it's in Geyer's
And I
hand.
have the
And you
chainmail.
grab the chainmail. Okay, cool.
And Geyer grabbed a crown.
Geyer has the crown.
Yeah, Geyer's still wearing the
Still
crown.
wearing it on his head. Geyer, when you get to the rope, Grub tried to climb and is now wrapped up and tangled in the rope about 4 feet up,
God.
and has dropped the sword and is reaching down, trying desperately to grab the goblin sword to like try to cut the rope or free itself. It is just Grub is having a very rough day.
Can I use him as a step stool to help me get out?
Sure, I'll give you a boon on your roll.
Okay. And is this... What's this? Was this an agility roll?
This is acrobatics. Yeah,
Acrobatics.
Oh,
acrobatics
no.
to climb.
So as Beltis passes Connery, I'm gonna give him a high five for
So Geyer is
doing
also
that
stuck in the
weak
rope.
spot. Oh boy.
What do I have to roll to get them out of the room?
For the sake of brevity here, if you guys are trying to get out, I'm going to say that you guys all manage to get out. It does take some
Humble and
time.
merciful.
It does take some time to get both Grub and Geyer unraveled from the rope being tangled. Geyer was hanging by one of his webbed feet from the very bottom. And you guys make your way out through the top of the Riddermound with all these new interesting treasures that you've claimed from here. What do you want to do now? You also have Grub, who seems to be looking around for any means to get away from you all. At the
Oh no,
first
I'm gonna
Are you
I'll
at
look
I'm
at
home?
gonna let
Connery.
him because I'm still tracking
Yeah.
him. So
Okay.
Yeah, I look
I
at
wanna
Connery, and if
find-
he's
Yeah.
not jumping on him, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, whatever. We got bigger problems right now.
Oh yeah. Immediately, as soon as he found an opportunity, Grub would just book it into the woods.
And I would,
Farewell,
I would
Sir
fill
Goblin.
Yeah.
I would let the other members of the group know that I'm tracking him, so we can follow him back to his leader at a later point.
Brilliant.
I think we should go to the cart and check on the dogs and donkey and go back to town, Mr. Geyer. You need a nap.
Town sounds good. Yes. I'd like to know what this says, and I need some time to rest.
Yes.
Rest is good.
So you guys make your way back to the cart. Are you guys starting to travel back towards town?
I mean, we were only in there for what, like an hour, maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Maybe at the most 2.
Jessica would take the reins from Geyer because she's been with him the longest, and she'd be like, just close your eyes, Mr. Geyer. Even if you don't nap, just rest, please. The donkey's used to Calcico doing this once in a while. So.
So Guyer's gonna go and get sort of situated back with the dogs in the back of the cart and find the little spot where he keeps a couple of things hidden away for himself and open that up and put the crown in, put the hammer in.
Yeah, Calcico would have given him the chainmail.
Put the chainmail in, sort of close it back up, lay my sleeping pelt down, and just sort of recline with the dogs.
Okay. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. While you guys are traveling, I'm going to say that all of you complete a full shift rest. So all of your conditions gone. Full HP, full willpower. I'll say like what we'll say is you guys each take shifts like driving the cart or moving about, and people can take rests in the back of the cart. And you guys are able to safely complete those shift rests as you guys are traveling back. Was there anything is there anything that you guys wanted to do while you were traveling?
Yeah.
There's much to be discussed, yeah.
So Numeral would probably want to talk to Calcica about that dagger and what happened when she like stabbed it. Now that was with the dagger that like weird elf.
Yeah, from before we met you guys. Yeah.
The cursed elf dagger.
Yeah. So she would, to Numeral, when, probably while Geyer is sleeping, would ask Calcica, what was that dagger you used? And may I see it?
Calcica looks at Numeral and then does look back at Geyer to see if he's sleeping, and she goes, "You can't take it, because I grabbed it. It's mine.
Okay.
Finders keepers." And she will then let Numeral look at it, but Calcica's very like, as soon as she's done looking at it, I'm putting it away, because she feels very unsettled letting Numeral hold it, just because it's her first big thing she ever grabbed that seems cool, and also she doesn't know what she just did, and she doesn't really want it to affect her friends either. She's kind of like, this is my problem in her head. So she's a little like, okay, just careful, don't poke it with any magic, please. I don't want the blue thing coming out and causing one of us to go cuckoo.
So she would say, do you even know what this is?
The lady that we talked to said it was a dagger that was used to... I don't remember what she said exactly. It's bad. It was part of the spell that made her kind of old when she was not supposed to be old.
Well, it's more complicated than that.
I'm sure it is. Nothing's ever as straightforward as it seems in this world.
And Numeral would say that, like, reading the runes on it, knowing the incantations, and, there would be a look of she comprehends what this is and how it works.
Yeah, it's an elven dagger. Yeah.
Yeah.
To numeral, I'm going to even add one more thing.
Mhm.
So as you're doing this in the inspection,
Mhm.
for a moment, you know how sometimes where you just like drift off and you daydream?
Mhm.
You get this moment where you just kind of drift for just a moment.
Mhm.
And then you see this blue glow of these two eyes peering back at you. And you hear this wheezy raspiness in your mind. And then it seems to just slowly fade away and dissipate as you pull the dagger a little bit away from your eyesight.
Interesting. And Calcica, you said you would take it back
Yeah,
shortly and quickly.
Yeah, she, as soon as Tinumeral like kind of like puts it like kind of like shakes her head a little after like zoning,
Yeah.
Kalska like takes it, but like gently, carefully, like she's not snatching it, trying to like be rude. She just goes, "I don't know if we want to play with this just yet, and maybe the guy that you guys all went and hung out with that night might know more. I don't. This is the only thing I have that can hurt big scary things, so I would like to put it back in my bag now, please."
Yeah, well, I certainly wouldn't want to play with this. The price is much too high, and you should be careful what you stab with this as well.
Yeah, felt like I had a choice back there, but it's the first time I've used it since we got it, and it's been a while. And
Numeral would also be like surprised that this like creature's spirit seemed to be imbued in the blade. That would be something that she would find a bit surprising about the way that this was done.
Mm-hmm.
She'd have like a look at shock when you were talking about stabbing the creature.
We'll get it looked at by somebody soon, but we haven't really been in town since we got it, so now that we're in a town, maybe somebody can look at it. But for now, I think it just needs to go back in my bag where I left it this long, and we will deal with it when we talk to somebody smarter. Puts it in her bag.
Somebody smarter. You underestimate how much I know about this, but sure.
Well, I don't underestimate
Your chances
you.
in
I
town.
underestimate, or I overestimate maybe the dagger. It's freaky, and she tucks it away.
Numeral would agree. This is not a dagger I would stab just anything with.
Didn't want to. Didn't have a choice. It hurt my duck. She closes her bag.
Excellent.
That would be pretty much all I want to talk about.
Okay, you got it.
Unless anyone else wants to have questions over that conversation who may have been awake.
Yeah, anybody else can think of anything they want to do or talk about or say with any of the other... You guys have like a 2-day travel to get back to Outskirts, so I'm just giving you guys the opportunity if there was anything you wanted to do, say, investigate, yeah, anything there was...
Geyer probably finds himself waking up with Kalska snuggled with him and the dogs whenever he goes to, like, she makes sure her turn to go sleep is roughly when he's, like, gonna be waking, like, they're both napping together for a little while.
Okay.
Because she doesn't want to be awake with him as much as possible, but she doesn't want to sleep the exact same time as him because she's keeping an eye out on him.
Sure.
Geyer, at some point when he wakes up, will dig back out the crown. Is going to take a little time trying to figure out the language that's on it.
Okay. It takes a little while, but as you're looking at this, you start to pick out some of the things a little bit. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't know so much, but probably as you're looking at it and inspecting it, Numeral would probably take a look over your shoulder and see that you're really looking at this thing. And Numeral would probably start to be able to see some of the markings on it. And what this is it is called a demon crown. Basically, a player character a player character that wears this crown halves all damage from attacks by demons, which is what the runes in the crown explain.
Nice.
Numeral would probably be the first person to be able to pick that out, but then you can start to see some of the language. So this system doesn't really have like an attunement thing with it, but anybody who's wearing this it's kind of like you're wearing it on your head, and it would have all damage from demons.
Interesting little bauble. Probably worth a pretty good coin.
It may also prove to be useful if we're continuing to grave rob ancient empires. And Belthus, I'm a little disappointed in you as well. I think that could have been handled all very differently. With
Grave
a little
rob
more
is a strong word.
Oh, I like to think that we put that spirit to rest finally. That now it can rest in peace. I hope, at least.
There were multiple things down there, and things were done to them.
It wasn't grave robbing. It was relic requisition. We're doing this for knowledge.
We didn't even find what we were looking for, and we just disturbed a bunch of sarcophaguses and almost got killed.
Good point. We have not found what we set out for at all, actually, the statue. Do we know if those...
So the woman that gave us the information was misleading.
But we did learn a great deal.
Yes, we learned that apparently we need money to get Belthus a new weapon.
Fancier one.
I mean, it's just a normal sword, I suppose.
When
And,
Geyer brings up the woman, Kalska wants to just quickly look to see if anyone's nearby us.
Oh yeah.
Or if I've noticed anybody while we're traveling.
You look around, you don't notice anybody.
And I do believe our investment in Grub will end up paying off well.
So we're going to take down a whole goblin horde by ourselves?
No, just Mr. Marmalade.
Cut off the head of the beast.
Well, I like that better than grave robbing.
Like eating more than not having money for food, so I'm okay with what we did. And Kalska starts talking with Geyer about how much money they think they can get for everything they stole.
That's something else Geyer would do. Geyer will take the crown and just, again, put it back on top of his hat like he was wearing it before. Taking out the hammer, I know you mentioned there were rubies down the sides of the handle of it. How much do I think I can get for this?
As you guys closer inspect, you believe that this is in fact a magical weapon. This weapon has a name. This one's called the Fiend Crusher. It is considered a light warhammer set with jewels. It is considered a master-crafted with a strength requirement of 7 and a durability of 15. This warhammer is magical and glows red whenever the bearer is within 10 meters of a demon.
Looking at that, and then we'll look up at Belthus. How do you feel about hammers?
Well, Sir Mallard, I am quite proficient at hammers, and I see you were trying to as well. Perhaps we could make a little deal here.
Just gonna take it and just toss it to him.
Oh, look at that.
I know how to use it to fix my cart. That's about it.
As I get a little better with these, if I could help you with some training, might be a good way to work on your swinging arm a bit.
Honor's in the back going, no. He already put me on my butt once. No, we're good. He doesn't need any more training.
Thank you, Sir Mallard.
So you can
Turn
add
over
that.
to Belthus. You could see for a minute just that half hesitation for a second, then realizing if it's magical, it probably would have done something to that creature. And
You're
it been wielded by somebody who was skilled.
yeah. Well, you're too thinking about how heavily armored that creature was. You would have had to break through the armor first to still be able to do damage to it anyway. Even though it's a magical weapon, it still has to beat the armor score. So,
Right.
and that thing had like your amount of damage you did with that wasn't enough to break through its armor.
Right, but Geyer's thought is,
Yeah.
I'm wiry. I'm not strong. Elthus is built like a steel wall.
That's it. Yeah.
He's got some muscle behind him, so he's going to be able to hit a little harder than I can.
Also, just to let you guys know, the gilded chainmail that you guys picked up is pretty light and flexible. It does give you an armor rating 4 if you wear it, and it only gives a bane to your sneaking rolls.
Oh.
Could Conry wear it?
No.
It'll mess with his magic.
Yeah, the magic
Okay.
spellcasters can't do
Wait.
chainmail.
I see how you would want that to happen, but no.
Belvis, what sort of armor do you have?
Better than
my
that.
armor's quite a bit sturdier than simple chain.
And Kalsiga doesn't want it?
No, she likes to be sneaky and to move quickly, and even with her high, ability with that, she's not comfortable being noisy. She's never liked to do that.
How much do I think I can get for it if I was to sell it?
Good question. Find out.
I did put it in the cart tracker in the Roll20.
You wouldn't want to wear that guy?
Geyer's thinking about that and the money at the same point because I just gave up that hammer that was worth a decent chunk of change.
If
It
you-
basically sounds like chainmail that you can still evade with.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. It's chainmail, but you don't have the bane on evade because it's lighter. You believe, Geyer, looking at this piece,
Oh.
that if you found the right person who was intrigued enough about ancient dragon empire history, you could get maybe anywhere up to like 200 gold pieces for this. It had to be the right person, though.
Geyer takes back the hammer.
Geyer realizing that, and well, okay, I need people to be able to see it to see if they're interested. Geyer will take the time and actually start wearing it where no one else is interested in it.
Now, and this also might be one of those things where you're not even sure if those people are in the Misty Vale yet.
Right.
It may be one of those things where it may be somebody that has yet to come, or you may have to take it out of the Misty Vale, and when that happens, it becomes even more valuable because you're taking an ancient artifact, ceremonial almost armor out of this ancient empire, taking it to another place. So,
Well, Geyer will wear it for a little bit and see if
Okay.
anyone bites.
you got it.
Not literally.
Sure. Was there anything else that you guys had that needed to be described, or was there anything else that you guys grabbed in there that you were unsure of, or while we have this moment while you travel?
No, but I would like to take the time to have a heart-to-heart with Geyer about what he saw down there.
Okay. Sure.
Have the birds and the bees conversation here about how my magic is through communing with nature and not just some shimmy.
You do the same thing that then Guy's gonna look around and see where Tenumeral is.
She'd probably be like sitting off the back of the cart, kind of like just looking at the stars and not really listening.
you can do what gestures toward, just sort of points at where Numeral's sitting.
Not quite the same. Mine comes
No,
from
you were
nature.
useful in the fight. She didn't do anything.
Well, mine comes from nature, and I can only commune with my. I call her Gaia. She is the mother of all nature, and after communing with her a few times, I am unable to communicate with her any further, which is good that Calcica brought the battle to an end, because I was actually out of communing, so to speak.
So how's that different than what those elven folk do?
I don't believe theirs is coming from nature so much as like a mentalism, a power of the brain. They have an innate ability, whereas some of my spells will not work unless I am outside and in nature.
So you can make the nature do things.
Absolutely. Would you like a flower?
Sure, why not?
Pluck one of the flowers from under me. Here you go.
Take it and just, tuck it into his pocket for a moment, just making a note to himself to make sure he gives it to Calcica later.
Oh.
It's just what you people do. It's as strange as it is to say this to you. It's not natural.
It's interesting you should say it's not natural if it's from nature.
As I said, strange. It's a little too natural.
Everything in nature has life, and that life gives off certain power. It's simply communing with that nature and pulling from it. It's beauty within Gaia.
It's a massive beam of light that destroyed something.
Only that which does not belong in nature, the unnatural. That light cannot do damage to someone like you.
I suppose that's a little better than what I've heard of the elves doing. They cursed a tree. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear about this one.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Calcica. There was another fellow we were traveling with for a bit.
He sounds charming.
Found out that this woman in a tree had kidnapped my poor dogs. We went in and we were able to save them, and she explained to us how a strange elvish person took a dagger and jabbed it into the heart of her tree.
The same dagger that Calcica has now?
We just see Calcica playing with the dogs, go, "Who's a good puppy? Who's a good puppy?"
Geyer is immediately just going to say, "Oh, of course not. We destroyed that."
Okay. Is a weapon capable
Hey,
of
Geyer,
corrupting nature?
there is a skill I believe called. Is there a bluff skill in this game?
Oh, yeah, there is bluff.
I want you to roll bluffing on this.
Oh, okay.
Try to succeed on your bluff roll. Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys
That's
believe
a high
him.
bluff.
Easy.
I am a salesman.
My
Snake
bluff
oil
is only
salesman.
4. I believe it.
Geyer is convinced that dagger is gone.
hey, Geyer, do me a favor. I need you to roll D10 for me.
Oh,
D10.
okay.
Uh-oh.
5.
Okay. So as you're having this conversation, I would say you guys are nearing outskirt now.
Mm-hmm.
You get to a part where the forest kind of breaks up a little bit. You guys are having this conversation. You're just about ready to finish it up. You look in the distance, and there's some rolling hills there in the distance. And one hill kind of stands out a little bit more prominent than the other. It has a little bit of bushes and shrubbery kind of on it from a distance. you see on that distant hilltop, you spot a knight in all black on a huge jet black warhorse way off in the distance. It's like a silhouette on the sky. The knight rears its steed. You hear the neigh of the horse echo over the plain. And then all of a sudden just gallops off the backside of the hill and disappears.
I'll look over at the rest of the group. Is this a friend of one of yours?
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Only friends.
What did you see?
There was a knight in all black. Are you familiar with anybody?
Was he looking for a duel?
You both talked at the same time. What was that?
Was he looking for a duel?
I don't know. He rode away.
He looked like his life was dedicated towards looking towards a duel. For a duel, yeah.
Let's go follow him. Where was he?
Absolutely not.
He's at the
Belfast.
top of that hill, but he's ridden away.
Oh, on
But
horseback.
he definitely made himself known. He wanted us to know that he was there.
Maybe he's the one that has the statue piece that we couldn't find there.
Could go
Yes,
that.
Say there's a
let's all ride off into the middle of a heavily armed knight's encampment and see what happens. I'm sure that's
Maybe
a
I
better
should-
idea than
Maybe I
fighting
should
duel.
go travel with him. Wasting all my points protecting you all from demon spells and nobody even appreciates it.
Me.
I appreciate it a great deal. You, that cold is
I
chilling.
gave you my rations, lady.
I got no protection
Casca looks
whatsoever.
very
I was thrown
upset.
into a wall, left beaten, bloodied on the ground.
Speaking of rations, everybody erase one more rations from your character sheet.
Because I shared with Timrel, who conveniently forgot. Casca has no food. She's now very cranky.
Do we have to hunt and fish now?
yeah. I got a fishing rod, but
I have a fair amount of rations left over. Comes down to it. I've got.
By the time we're back at town, I've run out.
And you can, and you can purchase. There's food to purchase at town too. So
I've got 4 rations if we need to cover anybody. I'm carrying a lot.
Okay. That was my last one as we get for the last day before town.
We should buy supplies to keep in the cart for when we're traveling.
well, I keep my food rations in the cart.
Yeah, your stuff's already in there.
But that's because I only have so much strength. I can only carry like a few things.
But like I've got the donkey and the cart listed in my inventory.
Oh boy.
It's like, oh yeah, my inventory's way off kilter.
And I think also if you look in the rulebook, the cart allows you to carry 50 weight 1 items. I believe is the way it works.
Oh, I
So-
should probably look into that. and
Yeah, so
see.
double check, because once you get to that, I mean, for most things you're gonna have plenty of room, but when you start getting like heavier items in there, it'll start taking up more space. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. So are you guys
We're gonna
continuing?
need a wagon.
Are you continuing
cart
towards
can only-
outskirt then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess the night will have to wait. Fair enough.
Alright. As you guys head back towards outskirt, that is a great place to end our episode, our session tonight. Well done. Well done, everybody.
Did we earn any extra coin itself in the adventure?
If you
I don't think we found any.
you didn't find any, but you're about to go
Okay,
back
we
to
did
town.
not.
So if you need to sell things and replenish,
Yeah,
you'll be able
it's
to
merchant in our
you'll be
midst.
able to do that in 2 weeks when we return for our next episode, as
Okay.
you guys are out of the Riddermound. And
Because I wanted to train under the old man again, but I only have 2 gold.
well, you guys will have opportunities here. You guys will
Okay.
have ample time. So we didn't have as many dragon and demon rules this week that we had last week. So we're gonna go ahead and do advancement now, everybody. So we're gonna go to our advancement questions for the night. Advancement. Let me get my questions back up. Here they go. Everybody gets a guaranteed point for participating in the game session. Well done, everybody. So there's 1 game point there. We got the point for exploring a new location last time for the Riddermound, so I don't think we'll get that one this week.
We explored the back room with the sarcophagus in it.
I gave you guys the point for the Riddermound. So, that's
Good
the
try.
capital R, capital Riddermound. Did you defeat 1 or more dangerous adversaries? Yes, you have. So you guys can put an advancement point down for that. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force?
We found the keys and opened the door.
We didn't kill the goblin.
Yeah,
And that gives us a way to track Marmalade.
Yeah. You know what?
one of these days I'm gonna learn his name.
I'll put a
Nope.
point for that. You made an argument for that. That was a good idea. That was a really good idea. Marmalade.
Sorry, Marmaduke.
It's gonna be that thing when we get to him and call him Marmalade, and he just chops all of our heads off.
Everybody calls him a different name. It's like, my name is this, man. Did you give in to your weakness? Anybody?
I'd
have
say
a-
yeah.
Chainmail.
I ran
yeah.
away from Connery twice, tripped him on the ground.
Yeah. I'd say yeah to that. Anybody else have one they believe they gave into?
I stayed in the back, so I think I was faint-hearted.
Okay.
They took the chainmail as like afterthought, essentially, like automatic, like whoop, go for the shiny
Okay.
for Kleptomania.
You also tried to steal the hammer that Geyer was going for.
Yeah, every time Geyer got like every time he was grabbing something cool, Kals goes like just half a step behind with short little halfling
Always
legs.
fighting over this stuff. Like.
Yeah.
How about Connery and Belthus?
Excessive pride or self-confidence. I'd say that when I went to save my little goblin so that my efforts didn't go to waste.
Oh yeah, that's a good argument for that. Yep. I will give you advancement for that. Yeah.
I think I charged into the fray and swung at ghosts and tanked some big hits, which is pretty foolhardy.
Yeah. Yep. You guys all get a point to giving into your weaknesses as well. So that should give you 1, 2, 3, 4 points that you guys can spend or for your rolling advancement. And there was a couple of dragons and demons rolled tonight. Just a couple. I can't remember who rolled them, but
Yeah, I got 1 for animism,
okay.
casting one of the spells.
Oh yeah.
So the cool part about the Roll20 character sheet is if you roll a demon or a dragon, it automatically puts the mark for you.
Oh, that's cool. There you go. They might have been doing some updating on that since last week too. So
Yeah.
What about when you roll with a boon? It's like I rolled with a boon, got a demon and a 16. Does that count or no? Because technically I got the 16.
yeah, it doesn't count if you don't take it. So like if you roll with a boon and you get the dragon, then it counts, you know. But yeah, you guys can roll up and see if you remember when you roll you have to exceed the number to increase it by 1.
Really?
Nice. I got some sick rolls.
Oh no.
I'm gonna push this button and see what it does because I think it's for advancement.
Can we push advancement?
Oh, yeah. So it went
you
straight
shouldn't be able to push
to
advancement, no.
it went straight to Michael.
Wow. Not a one of them.
Oh, you didn't increase any this time?
No, I met two of them and then just flat out missed the others.
I missed my last one.
I'm trying to figure out
Oh wow!
how.
So yeah, the character sheet automatically rolls your advancement and automatically boosts the number up if you succeed, and sends the advancement rolls to GM in a whisper. That's nifty.
Oh yeah, I got him.
How do you do that?
You
Yeah.
see the little arrow pointing up by the word skills? It'll take away all your marks and roll for your advancements.
Well, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah. This is all automated, which I am not proud to say I failed 4 out of 5.
I failed 4 out of 4, so I know how you feel.
That's okay, because like I said, I'm trying the higher number skills because I want to get something to 18.
Yeah. That's like with me, I went with evading knives because
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool that the character sheet does that. I didn't know it did
Yeah,
that.
they really thought of these things. Like, it's
That's
a really
good.
useful tool.
Well, cool.
so you heard it here, folks. We're playing it on Roll20. Don't miss that little thing like I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's going to be a great time for us to end our session tonight. So, reminder, we are not going to be streaming next Monday, but we will be live in 2 weeks for our next episode where we'll just pick up right where we left off. You guys will be arriving back at Outskirt after your 2-day travel back from Riddermound with your new goodies that you've picked up. And some more mystery about where that pieces of those dragon emperor statuette seem to be hiding out here in the Misty Vale. So we'll have to see what happens next time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
And
Yeah.
languages went up.
What's that?
My acrobatics and languages went up.
All right, 2 of them. There you go. That's good. Did Belthus get any tonight?
Oh yeah, big
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Like,
you-
4 out of 5. It's
There you
crazy.
go. Nice.
Yeah.
But I think you didn't
We
get
might not be
like anything
here.
last time.
Right, last time
Yeah.
I had like think
Yeah.
dice were in my favor.
Might
But-
not be here next Monday, but some of us, maybe Michael, if I'm lucky, will be at Cardboard Castle Games on Monday.
Oh yeah, Cardboard Castle. make sure you check them out before we get offline here tonight. If you're checking us out on YouTube, leave us a like, comment, share this video with all your friends. But until next time, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Have a good night, everybody.